I thought one time, I actually thought me and our Haitian friend at work, one time we slapped each other on the butt and said supervisor, Baldy, saw us. And I was like, shit, we in trouble. Because I went pow. And I walked away. He went pow. And we laughed. And then I turned around and looked and I saw him. I was like, oh, we're going to get in trouble. Because we had like thoughts. I don't know if I said the words, but I kind of thought to myself, shit, we just sexually assaulted each other. Like, this is wrong in the workplace.
Bed. Love.
Bed. Love.
Beyond. Bed Love Beyond. Bed Love Beyond. Welcome to Bed Love Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us, to discuss sex, love, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love.
Like us.
I am Jennifer, and I'm here with my co-host,
Martini.
And today's episode is episode 97. He said, she said, and the gray area of consent. And we have our favorite guest, April. Hey guys.
What's going on? Long time.
I know, good to be back.
We've told you guys that April has a blog now. She's Miss April Speaks on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you have a topic that you want to explore, or have any questions you want us to ask, you can write to us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com or text us at 201-862-8BED, and that's 201-862-8233.
Yep.
So I whatchamacallit, somebody on Facebook was like, oh, do you guys have anyone like have a number that they like read online voicemails?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we do. We have a thing where we, read our voicemails online.
Yeah.
And you already know this. I'm trying to find the page, and unfortunately I can't find it now. But maybe you know it, Martini.
What's up?
So the podcast, these other podcasts, why can't I find the page? What is it called? Out There in New Jersey or something?
Checked Out in New Jersey.
Checked Out in New Jersey. It's another podcast. I guess they only do things in New Jersey or about New Jersey people. They've invited us to come to their show, and we're going to be on Facebook Live on March 1st.
Yep.
As
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. As guests on their show.
Eastern Standard Time.
So we'll post the information as that comes, and I'll get the name of the podcast right before I get there. Because apparently I just make up my own titles for things today.
No, but yeah, it's pretty cool because, this is essentially our first time that we're being interviewed, so that's pretty cool.
Right, so he's going to
just hit you guys up and said...
Yeah, he just asked, like, oh, does anybody, read voicemails or listen, like, play the voicemails on the thing? We'd love to call in and ask questions or something. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, yeah, we need some, here's our number. And he's like, oh, my God, 201, you're in New Jersey? Come to our podcast. I was like, okay. So he's like, I was like, oh, it's a 15-minute drive. He's like, it's worth it. I was like, damn.
Where do you have to go?
Hackettstown.
Oh, okay.
So on a Thursday night, but it should be exciting. I'm excited to meet them. They seem like a lively bunch.
Yeah, they seem pretty cool.
And then they're just going to kind of interview us. We'll tell them about our podcast, and then we're just going to jump in and make commentary on their podcast.
Yeah, so
I'm with that.
This is going to be, I guess, the first time you guys will see us, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh,
I'll be sure not to
how does Jennifer look like? And I'm like, all right, why are you asking me?
I'll be sure to, not wear gym clothes that day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Anything new going on in your world, Martini?
No, not really.
Have you guys been watching Married at First Sight?
No,
I have.
I kind of follow it through
the
articles and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff T's not sleeping with his wife, I heard.
You heard you're not catching up?
No, I mean, I haven't seen, obviously tonight's episode or last night's episode, whatever it is. But they just said Jeff T doesn't want to sleep with his wife.
No.
I'm really just here for Jeff T.
No, the reason why I shook my head is just because in the last episode last week, it was just a bad episode for Jeff T because I don't know, he's very standoffish, and also he's inadvertently degrading his wife because he's like, yo, I don't know you, you're a stranger, mm-hmm. But he doesn't take the time to get to know her because right now in the series they're on not a vacation, they're on their honeymoon. So yeah, I'm not saying we need to frolic in the woods and hold hands and stuff, but get to know one another,
ask questions.
And he's like, yo, I don't know you, I don't know you, you're a stranger, And she's like, yeah, but I'm still your wife, though.
And he's like, yeah, my stranger wife.
Yeah, my stranger. Yeah, stuff like that.
Even people on first dates hold hands. I mean, you know,
right?
like,
you try a little.
Like, you can't keep harping on the fact that you guys are strangers. Well, that's the point of this whole thing.
And not to mention, it's like day 5.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like, and they're like between the wedding, the day after the wedding, like they're on like day 5.
They are on day 5.
Right.
Yeah.
And if the person being a stranger is going to bother you so much and keep you from moving
Exploring,
on, you shouldn't have done this, because this is the point. Like, you go from strangers to married people in 10 seconds. That's how that works.
Right. I don't know. He's just annoying. So.
He's like making us look bad. Or something.
Well, pretty much, you know. He's just.
I
annoying.
understood from like I guess like
I understand both their
from
points.
a Haitian culture, maybe like his family is like very conservative, and he didn't want like his wife to give him a lap dance in front of his mom, which I totally get. Like,
yeah, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can just imagine like some girl giving you a lap dance in front of your mom, like, Martini, what is happening?
No.
So like, I got it, but like I'm just like, why are we? And like, first of all, let's mention the fact that he's 25.
Right.
Nobody should be getting married at 25. If you're 25 and you got married, I'm sorry, I'm judging. You just shouldn't be getting married. Like, you don't know enough of all the other shit that could happen by 25. And if for some reason life has been really hard on you and you do know, then just make sure you're ready for it, because I'm here at the roller coaster. But like...
But like your mental stability and your emotional intelligence is not even like up there enough to be married at that age. Right. People do it, but it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to you guys, but like a man at 25
has the mentality of a 17-year-old.
Right.
And his wife is 29. So that's another factor too.
Right. So she's like ready to make babies, and he is a baby.
Right.
So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting. I haven't been like watching religiously. I don't even really know the other couple's names, to be honest with you. I do think that the one guy, maybe his name, no, not Ryan, the other
John.
John.
The big muscular guy, right?
He's a little rapey. No, like in the beginning, he like brought out these like handcuffs, like when they were packing.
Oh yes.
And he was like, I don't know, my friend gave me these. Like maybe we can get a little like domination going. And she's like, no, like she's like, I don't even. She's like, she kind of just like. She was like all into things at first, like, yeah, we're married, blah, blah, blah. Let's wear the wifey husband t-shirts. Yeah. And he was like, haha, handcuffs. What do you think of these? And she was like, I feel like I just fell out of love with you.
Like, I think the world of them if you're going to be wearing them.
Right. She was like, no, I don't like that. And it's like right there should have been a good indication for you, like where her level of freakiness is. Like,
if you just pulling out hand, that's low level.
She can still get up to that, and maybe not in the show's duration, but that doesn't mean she's completely cut off. But yeah, this is like,
I feel like girls who are
2.
like interested in those things would maybe give like maybe one day, but she was just like no. Like, she like ice cold shut
really
down.
Did. That was pretty
like
funny.
She had a bad experience. Like this one time, like I don't know, it was really crazy, and I was just like, ooh. Yeah. He seemed like he wasn't joking about those.
No, you should definitely catch up. I mean, it's good. It's always pretty good.
Demand. And to be honest with you, like the Haitian guy and his wife, they probably were the only 2 black people that auditioned, and they just said we got to put some people of color on here.
In Boston, we gotta put
these. No. There were some, but there was like I don't want to say a mishap, but during the matchmaking special, there was one guy who's a pretty good looking guy, had like nice hazel eyes on all that stuff. He put a preference like not black women.
Oh.
And Pastor Cal, your favorite, he was like he doesn't find it. Well, no, it has nothing to do against him, but he doesn't like people who don't want to have a black chick. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you have to have a black chick, but to omit them out of your dating pool, he didn't like that. So that's why they got rid of him.
Job.
Isn't it? To pick the experts? To pick who you...
I don't think if I went on, I'd be like, hey, put me with a white guy if you think it's going to work. No. I just don't think I never really dated a white guy before, so I don't think I'd be like, yeah, this is going to be great.
No, but people put preferences on their thing.
His preference was not black chicks.
And Pastor Cal didn't like that.
Pastor Cal said, We ain't playing now.
Exactly. He was like,
I don't know,
then.
Pastor Cal. I think you should have cut him. I would have been down to
But
just
he
see
was
the Hazel.
the one only.
Well, I mean, they can't show everybody. There's a ton of people who sign up for that thing, but they I guess they show the people who have like the most interesting personality or whatever. So
because your personality got to match. That's the main thing with it. But
Well,
Boston, I'm not surprised if it wasn't. Just those two.
Yeah, I don't know.
and Boston is pretty racist. No offense.
Whoa.
No, it is. Like
Just
people,
pissed off a whole fucking city.
Well, they know that though.
They known for that though. Yeah, that's why I was like. That's why I said I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know that much about Boston.
No, yeah. Like Boston comics say it all the time.
They'll whoop your
Like-
tail if you got a Yankees hat on. Let
Oh
alone
yeah, that's true
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
black and got a Yankees hat.
Like you're done. Yeah, pretty much.
So much
but
for
yeah, you can
putting Boston on the map.
you can catch up. Yeah, it's pretty good. I was gonna say something, but I completely forgot. Oh well.
So I was listening to my book.
Well, hold on for a second. That's what I wanted to bring up. What's it called? Randy's pretty mad about Jeff D2, our last guest. He's pretty mad at Jeff
Martini's
D2.
brother.
Yeah, that too. And also, in case you didn't know, April, he sort of has a competition going on with you.
Really?
Yes, he does. Randy is now the 5th person. I mean, he's been on this podcast 5 times. He's the leader right now.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Ooh.
you have.
All right.
April,
lead.
get your game up.
Yeah, April's number 4. I mean, number 4.
She's in
Fourth
second
person.
place.
She's in second place.
She's the first loser.
Yeah,
Tell her I said that.
Jeez.
she might have just heard you.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You love this show so
I'll,
much.
I'll be by for a 6th episode before April comes back for her 5th.
Oh.
Oh.
You can tell her I said that again.
That's a challenge.
Uh-oh.
Oh shoot! All right, man. All right, so
I'm not gonna let you do my friend like that.
because what did he say? He
said he was gonna be back before April came back. And
Yes.
you're not.
Exactly. That's
Make
exactly.
sure that didn't happen,
Me and
Randy.
Randy need to meet here.
Oh shoot!
Settle the score. Let's go, Randy.
Yo,
That'd
you
be
hear
actually
that?
super interesting.
That'd be awesome.
Oh my god, we gotta need to make that happen.
That'd be freaking awesome.
Oh.
You know. So, but
I'm just gonna sit back and watch.
but Jennifer did put in a clause. The only way that he can come back is if he comes back with his
Girlfriend.
well,
Whatever he calls
whatever
her.
he calls her. Yeah.
Are you listening?
Yeah, no offense
Hopefully
to
by now you figured out what to call her.
yeah, no
Two
offense
years
to the
later.
woman because she actually listens. So
Well, tell him what you are, girl, and then
Yeah.
come to our show.
yeah, so you were saying you were listening to your book?
I was listening to my book.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Damn it. The Anna Faris book.
Mm.
And I think I was telling somebody, one of you, that like she talked about like Chris Pratt and like how their relationship was and like all the little cute things that they did for each other and like how like certain things like in a relationship people take for granted, like the acts of kindness that people do for each other. Like she said he used to like braid her hair sometimes when they would watch football, and like even though it seems like a little corny, like it's just kind of like an act of kindness and like an act of like closeness and intimacy that doesn't necessarily like include sex. And she said like every time she would do her show like on Fridays, he would like send her flowers to the thing, blah 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 blah. And then like I just got really sad because I'm like, damn, they're not together anymore. I don't know. I take the relationship really personally. She was like telling me the story in my ear. And then that's what you get for that's different than reading. I actually heard her voice and I wasn't hallucinating.
Right.
And I just felt bad. I'm just like, damn, that's really sad. I mean, I know people break up, but they were married, they have a baby. Well, he's not a baby anymore. I don't know. It just made me feel like really bad. But like he's dating someone now and she's dating someone now, so I guess they're like very amicable about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, damn, you share all that with somebody and then poof.
Yeah.
I was reading some book. I can't think of what it was, where the marriage counselor said something like I think it was The Art of Happiness. And I think he was the guy who wrote it with the Dalai Lama did marriage counseling. I want to say that's the book. He mentions how some people aren't wrong for each other. They're just bad at relationships.
Damn.
And he talks about the couples that came to him that remarried because after they learned communication and they learned better how to like, I guess, not be selfish and not, you know, communicate better. They actually like still loved each other.
Right.
They just didn't know how
They
to
remarried back to each other?
Right.
Oh, cool.
Like he had like, you know, like he told this story of this woman and this man who got married and then got divorced and then got remarried because they were based, I think they might have had one kid. I'm not sure. But they were just bad at communication and they brought their issues, emotional issues, and they didn't, you know, get themselves together. So they brought all that to the marriage. But once they got, you know, got themselves together, got the emotional issues straight, learned how to communicate, they still loved each other.
Yeah.
They just didn't know how to be in a relationship. Yeah.
That's deep.
So sometimes that's the case. You don't necessarily fall out of love. Y'all just don't know how to like keep it going.
Yeah.
And I think since they're both like in the industry, it was kind of probably really hard. So I don't know. Well, in related news to our podcast, I watched the Grammys. I saw Kesha. Kesha, right? I was calling her Keisha today. I don't know if she just sounds better on the radio or she was just like super emotional. But I didn't know that that's what that song was about either.
Oh,
I don't really know what I thought.
Incident.
I really don't know what I thought it was about, to be honest with you.
Right.
And then when I put it all together, I was like, oh shit, that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Rihanna didn't sound good either.
Maybe
But I've heard that before. People
somebody
who went to her concert said she...
Really? Somebody else was like just talking when they did like the tribute to the Route 91, whatever it is. The tribute to the Las Vegas victims.
Oh.
Somebody was like talking and her mic kept going out. And I was just like, Channel 4?
Oh, I think I saw... Yeah,
I was like, you want to handle that? So I was just like, oh. But I mean, I did not know that's what the Kesha song was about.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. That's really deep now. But,
Yeah.
So today's topic is, anybody else have anything exciting to tell us?
No.
No?
No.
Nothing exciting in your world, Martini?
Nope.
No Tinder dates?
No.
Make it happen. Damn.
I don't know.
We need material.
We got you.
Nothing exciting's happening here. We're cohabitating.
The people are interested in you and what you're up to. Okay.
We're cohabitating. That's it.
You got the big narrative, and people are just waiting for the day. That's it.
What day?
You know what day?
The ring day?
Yeah.
Psh, you and me both. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't,
everybody's just waiting on that. So
if it doesn't, there's Ricky Whittle.
oh god. Oh, you remember his name now?
I did. I don't know why I had like I couldn't add 3 and 7 the other day. I was having a really hard time. But anyway, so yeah, our topic is on the more of the serious note. So how do you want to kick this off?
Well, Jennifer and I, we wanted to since our podcast is a relationship podcast, we would be remiss if we didn't touch upon this subject because it's a huge subject with the whole Me Too and Time's Up the movement. So we're like, all right, yeah, we definitely need to do this. But I was scared to do it, even though I wanted to do it because, pretty much men are on the chopping block, and also I didn't want to offend anybody. So I was doing a lot of research, and I was like, I can't offend anybody, but also at the same time, I want to talk about what I feel, what I want to talk about. And I was like, all right, we'll do this later. And then I saw April's blog.
What?
I saw that blog and I read it, and I stood up and I had to walk for a bit. I was like, she hit so many good points. And I don't know if you saw it. I wrote a comment on the blog, and I was like,
it didn't show me. I gotta look again.
Yeah,
it usually sends me an email if somebody. I have to look.
And I was like, nah. I was like, we need to have you on the show for this very subject. I was like, even though I already had the idea, you really gave me the inspiration to all right, I need to sit down and freaking create this narrative, because you really hit a lot of points and a lot of things that I was surprised that you would talk not that you would talk about that on the side that you were on. I was just like, yo, that's crazy. I was like, all right, April. Okay.
Martini makes me want to write every Sunday.
No, it was really good. It was well
He stood
written,
up and he was
well
like,
thought.
I need to talk to April. He's like, her blog was fantastic. I was like, whoa, all right.
Yeah.
I was like, I skimmed it. I've been waiting to go back to it. Damn. Now I feel like an asshole.
Nah, it was
Martini makes me want to stop watching the 227 marathon on Sundays and say, all right, let me get on it.
Nah, it was really good. I was just like, wow. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. I don't know if it's gonna be a no holds barred type thing. I don't know, but we're just gonna just talk about it and just say what's in our hearts and what we feel is how we think. You know, we have 3 different minds on the subject, so hopefully, you know,
Yeah.
we'll get to, I don't know, something. You know,
I say no holds bar.
I say too.
boom.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
no holds barred. All right,
Let it
there we
all
go.
out.
All right, you know. So this might be our last episode. So
No, it's got to go to 100. It's got to be like an even.
yeah.
When did you get OCD?
I don't know. It comes and goes.
It comes and goes. Oh, that's hilarious.
So I guess it'd be wrong to say that this is something that just started, obviously. You know, it's obviously something that's not like today
right.
or this week or this month or this year. I think it's something that's been going on for a long time, but like other things like race and, you know, money situations, like it's kind of a very hush-hush conversation to have.
Yeah.
I know April and I working in the mental health field, we've come across like thousands of clients that have been like, you know, abused or molested or whatever. And it was kind of just like something that happened. And then in return, you know, they have either PTSD or depression or some kind of psychosis. And it was just kind of like a cause and effect type thing. And I don't think anyone ever really talked about it because you don't really know what to say to somebody.
Right.
You know, like, oh, my grandfather molested me. Be like, sorry.
Yeah. What can you say?
Yeah, especially if you've never been through it. It's like,
Right.
I don't even know how to.
Yeah.
I can't tell you everything's going to be all right.
Right,
You know,
you can't.
or get over it. Well,
But
you won't say the words.
You
get
could
over
say,
it, but-
like, you know, you are who you are now, and, you know, you could build towards being a stronger, you know, more complete person or feeling more complete than what you did. But that's the type of therapy that you have to go to, you know, on a weekly basis to try to, like, break down and figure out. So no one ever really talked about it. And now that it's, like, kind of not the craze of the media, I don't know if that's the right word, but
Right.
it's like everywhere you turn around in the music industry, in the movie and entertainment industry.
Right.
I feel like in the sports industry, it touched somewhere.
Possibly. Oh well, yeah. A while ago, the Steelers,
Rothenberg?
yes, quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, he was accused of rape, but then you know he continues to play. So, but I mean, I don't know if it's true. Or not.
I don't know if it's true or not either. That's
I mean,
the other thing.
So.
I mean, it didn't even start with Bill Cosby because
Oh no.
it was way before that. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think of some of the prominent things that happened way before that I could remember.
Yeah.
But I
I
mean,
forgot who was before Bill Cosby. To tell you the truth, that really started it. I don't know.
But now the problem I personally feel is that first of all, I feel like some people are hashtagging me too to be part of something.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like some things, and I'm not saying all things, I'm saying some things that people consider abuse or rape are not necessarily abuse or rape.
Mm-hmm.
And as a woman, I don't know if I have a right to say that. So I honestly haven't been saying much.
Right.
Like people go on their rants and say this, and that, and I'm kind of just like, okay, yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry, like that happened to that person.
I knew you were very reserved to even do this episode because I remember I brought this up to you a couple weeks ago, and you're like, I really don't have anything to say. I was like, what? How can you?
don't because as a woman, have I been places where guys have like grabbed me inappropriately? Yeah, I have, but at a fucking Lizard Lounge or Iguana Lounge in New York City, you can't go on that dance floor. Well, maybe not now. Last time I went, it was like dead there. But you used to not be able to go on that dance floor without being like grabbed anywhere you go.
Right.
You know, it was personally, we used to be like, it's kind of rapey down there. Let's not go.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we were just like stronger women, and like if some guy comes up to you and starts grabbing you, you're like, dude, get the fuck off me.
Yeah.
Or it's just something that we kind of figured we handled on our own. So, I wasn't going to like run to the bouncer and be like, I was just molested. Or some guy just like tried to grab my ass or stick his hand down my shirt or something. Like, I don't necessarily know that would have been my thought process.
Well, no, because that behavior has been normalized.
Right.
That when you're in a club, guys grab your butt.
Right.
And you either turn around and smack them, or you just walk off, or I'm not dancing, you elbow them away.
Right.
Yeah.
And guys thinking it's okay, that's in their mind, they're not assaulting you.
Right.
Right.
And then it's that, I guess that's what people mean when they say it's been normalized.
Right.
In your mind is not assault, and in his mind is not assault.
Right.
We're in a club. This is what happens in clubs. But
Yeah.
technically, it is assault. Nobody should be grabbing anybody anywhere.
Absolutely. And I think that's what people are trying to stop. Not, to stop guys from doing that, as opposed to allowing girls to just be like, okay, well, this is what happens. Like, yeah, we all
Not
know that that's
supposed
what
to.
happens,
Right.
but it's not supposed to,
And
know.
all guys, we got to remember too, all guys didn't grab your butt. Some
No.
guys said, do you want to dance?
Right.
So there was a line of decency that some men chose not to cross.
Yeah.
And the ones that crossed it just didn't really get penalized for it.
Right.
But there was guys that would like maybe touch your arm instead, like, hey, or
Hey.
or just kind of come up to you and start dancing, and maybe you
Right.
back off, or you
Yeah.
dance with them.
Yeah.
But the guys that were like grabbing your hips or touching your butt or doing that kind
Or
of
does
stuff,
when they want to,
just pull you.
I'm not even pull you, but like they just grab your
Arm?
Yeah, they just grab your arm and you're just like, what the, like, get off me, yo. Like,
Right.
who are you?
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
some guys would be like gentle about it, like kind of like guide you like you would in an actual dance move if you
Yeah.
went to like.
Almost like
Classic.
giving you the opportunity
Right.
to kind of pull back.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there was instances in clubs, like when I was in clubs, where I did feel like, okay, you just went a little too far.
Right.
Like, why are you all up on me? Like why are you grabbing me so hard? Why are you, I don't even want to dance with you no more.
Yeah.
I went to the tunnel one time, and there was like chicks plastered up against the wall with like dudes just like dirty whining on them or whatever was going on back in the 97s. But like I was just like, oh my god. I was in the corner throwing up water. It was too hot in there.
Right.
But like I don't know. Maybe, I think you're right. I think maybe either we did normalize it, and I think like to a point, some women, I wouldn't say all, because I know some women would be like super offended by it. Not that I wasn't offended by it. I just felt like I handled it. You know?
Right. But we weren't going to go to the bouncer and say,
No.
this guy. We were just going to like
And what the
say
fuck
what
was
we
the
got to
bouncer
say
gonna do?
and walk off.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You just summarized it to like, that guy was an asshole, or guys are assholes, whatever, and then just go
Right.
about your day, night.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with college. Like, I went away to school, and, like, I remember guys being like, I remember the first night that I dated this guy in college, my first year, freshman year, and I did think he was, like, the cat's meow, and I didn't until, like, eventually he moved into my house with me because his mom died, and then it was a disaster. But we dated for a long time, but the first night we met, I did think he was cute, and I did go back to his room with him. But, like, he begged me till the sun came up to have sex. And I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. But, like...
Yeah.
wasn't that good. But, like, I remember he begged me. And, like, in retrospect, like... Not that that's rape, because I did consent.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like some women now are saying behavior like that, the taking you back to your place and trying to romanticize this like relationship that we may or may not have. Hey, I got lucky. We dated for like months and whatever happened. But like there are girls who like would go back to someone's room with them in college, and guys would be like, oh this or oh that. I remember my roommate slept with my friend from down the hall, and she was just like, I'm like, why did you guys hook up? She was just like, I don't know, like he wouldn't stop. And I'm like, wouldn't stop what? And she's like, he just kind of kept coming at me, and I'm just like, so you didn't have to like put his dick in your mouth, like, like I just didn't understand it, me personally.
Yeah.
I mean, because like I just came from a household like where like even if my dad was like trying to be like cute and playful and romantic with my mom, if she wasn't having it at that moment, she'd like smack the shit out of him and be like, "Frank, leave me the fuck alone."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're married, and not that he was being like inappropriate with her, but
yeah,
you know, whatever.
You can't force your wife either.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say that. Yeah, married people can still be inappropriate too.
So I guess I was just raised in a house where I knew it was okay to like say no or stick up for myself or be like, okay, you're like being extra.
Yeah.
I remember I got drunk in college and someone threw me in the shower naked. Wasn't happy about that. But I mean, one of my friends was there, and she was like, "I made sure nothing happened." I never got that drunk again. Never, ever, ever.
We're later in the episode. We're gonna talk about that uneasiness that your college friend experienced.
And I'm not saying that it's not right. That's why I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this. It's just I can't relate.
Right.
I know that it's wrong what guys do, and like I guess there's a part of me that like I just wish women were stronger. And I wish moms would tell their daughters it's okay to, you know, fight for your right and for your body so that you're comfortable.
Right.
And I just don't feel like all moms do that. Mm-hmm. Or all parental people. Or I don't think it's something they teach in school.
Right.
The only thing I remember about rape in school is that the teacher wrote on the blackboard, "Don't stop." The words, "Don't stop."
Oh.
And she said, depending on where you put the period.
Yeah.
Or the commas or whatever.
Yeah.
"Don't stop" can mean two
Don't
different
stop,
things.
keep going.
Yeah.
Or don't. I said no. Stop.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you meant in the beginning.
That's
I was like, don't
all
stop.
I remember about learning.
Yeah.
And after that, it was just like, then you're going to get your period.
But then, too, I feel like it was okay for you to, like, even if the person came back to your dorm or you went to their dorm and you said, nah,
Right.
I don't think I want to. Like, I think that's okay. I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning. If the woman says, "I changed my mind," like, I don't think she should have to hear, "Well, what were you doing there?
Right.
Well, why did you go? Why did you go back?
What were you wearing?"
Well, we're college students, and that's, you know, we were partying, and I went back to this person's house. That doesn't mean I should get assaulted because I'm in this place that I don't want to be.
Right.
Like, I don't think where a woman is matters. Like, if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If I say don't touch me, you can kick me out.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you came for. Get out. Okay. That's better than rape.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Put me out then. If you don't like, you know what I mean? You could tell me to get out. You could tell a woman to get out. That's fine. That way you won't be accused of anything if she get out. You know what I mean? But but the first thing a woman hears, well, why'd you go back there? Mm-hmm. Well, because maybe I thought about it and I said okay to myself. Then I got there and I changed my mind.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think we watched too much Law and Order. Because I'm just thinking of like all the Law and Order episodes. Like, well, she was wearing a mini skirt and she was intoxicated.
Well, I heard that
and she gave
I could be
first.
wrong, but that you can't now ask or they
discriminate.
Well, no, not even discriminate. You, what am I trying to say? It doesn't matter what they were. Like, you can't bring that into the court.
Oh,
like, because it doesn't matter.
Right.
What she was wearing or whatever.
Is
So
that new?
don't even bring
Is
it
that
up.
new?
I think so. I was doing like research on here. It's like it
So
doesn't matter.
even
Like,
the
they took it
defense
out.
Attorney,
You
defense
can't-
attorney can't.
No,
even if
like,
she went to his house butt naked.
it doesn't matter. It's just like, what was the incident? Not like, hey, she was wearing a miniskirt or like
did you
she had a
penetrate
bra.
her without her consent? Did you touch her without?
Yeah. So
And the thing is too, you know, with the even on Law and Order, it's like when the person they do show that when they bring up the person's past history,
Right.
what she had on. But what we also learn from Law and Order, rape is about power.
yes.
Right.
Because you can have on a turtleneck, sweatpants, socks pulled up to here, high tops, and still be raped.
Yes.
Right.
So it really doesn't have anything that people be like, oh, look what she was wearing.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
got raped. And it's like, but that really doesn't have any. What about the women who get raped in jackets and sweaters?
Right.
Yeah.
Wearing trench coats.
It's
or whatever.
really, really about power. That's why you hear about all these men, the CEOs and all these supervisors and, you know,
Yeah.
people drunk with power.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, but I guess now, like with the Me Too movement, it's like so hard to differentiate. Whatever, you guys got me on that, right? My words aren't working today. Like, what is sexual? Well, I know what sexual harassment is, but I think like people are just clumping it all together, like sexual harassment and sexual abuse and rape and everything. Now it's just one big
sexual misconduct.
And sexual misconduct.
Yeah, it's all one umbrella. Yeah.
I think we talked about this at some other podcast or on another podcast. Like I remember when I worked for AT&T corporate for that brief 6 weeks. I went to their training, and you can't say you look nice in those jeans. You also couldn't put up pictures of like Cupid for Valentine's Day because some people might be offended. But you couldn't put up Christmas stuff either. But you couldn't say, "Hey, you look nice in those jeans." Hey, you know, whatever, like anything to compliment someone's body or what have you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where things kind of get gray.
Absolutely.
And that's the hard. I almost feel bad for guys a little bit, but you can't say, they'd be like, well, did he say creepy? Like, was he like eyeing you up and down? Was he licking his lips? Like, I mean, that's like.
I was
don't know.
Watching this video about Me Too, and somebody said that a woman tweeted that, like, can't a woman just come into work and not get complimented? You know, like, I guess on her attire.
But men are told that women feed off compliments.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that's why I'm bringing it up. So it's like, what do I do?
Right.
You know? Like, what do I do? Because, I mean, I understand. Yeah, women should be treated as human beings, and yeah, I don't need to comment on your blouse or whatever. I can just be like, yeah, did you get the TPS reports yet, Becky, or whatever? But sometimes, you know, you might look good, and I'm like, oh damn, you look
see,
good,
now
but I can't.
that's creepy.
But I can do that to myself, though. I'm not gonna do that to her.
To yourself, right?
You know, like, yeah, I'll be like, yo, did you see her? You know, I could do that. You know, but
I mean, if you were like kind of like, I guess you have to like give that friend zone comment, be like, news to April? Cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know.
I guess, too, it's that line. It's like the difference if you're, like, really, really cool with that person. Like, it's almost your friend. And you're like, oh, Jen, that looks nice on you. Right. As opposed to a woman you work with that y'all really don't talk that much.
Like, remember
you're like, oh, you look nice in that dress. She's like, okay. Or, you know, like, maybe it's a drawing the line between, like, this is like my cool friend at work. See, that I can say these things.
Our one supervisor, the one who fired me, we'll leave his name out of this. He said some like on the border inappropriate things, but I think he thought he was cool with us. Mm-hmm. But obviously he fired me, we weren't that cool.
Or was trying to be.
Or right.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm trying to think, like, if we saw, like, John, for instance, that's a very basic name.
Because we thought the old man was way inappropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, he was talking about, like, he said something like, oh, I got 8 kids, so you know, like, my wife must look good. Or something that alluded to having a lot of sex, basically.
Right.
And we was like, oh, okay, that's new. But it was awkward. It was awkward.
Yeah,
and it wasn't something a manager, I felt like a manager should have said.
Right.
There was a lot of awkward moments.
We knew that, but we weren't running to, like,
we didn't go to
corporate
HR
and say, yo.
But that doesn't mean that it's not wrong.
I know, I'm saying,
right.
but that's why now when all this stuff is like, bing, 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 it's just like, oh, shit, like, were we remiss for not saying anything back then?
But if somebody would have went to HR, I'd been like, yeah, I seen that one coming. But it's just like, we're so thick-skinned that we like, he nasty.
Yeah.
Right.
Nasty old man, and keep going.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know that it ever happened, but in my head, I could picture it happening. Like, if John came in, like, in a nice shirt and, like, some shades, trying to be, like, all cool and stuff, we'd be like, hey, John, look at you looking all cool today.
Right.
But, like, I don't know if people would be like, oh, they were, like, being
sexually harassing John.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
But I think a hater would do that, because I don't think it'd be looked the same if you guys did it.
This is where the problem is now, that some of these women are saying I was sexually spoken to the wrong way.
Right.
And, like, you don't know if they're just being a hater or if they're really offended, especially since it's like 3 years ago this happened.
Right.
You're like,
and then you have to think too, it's a difference between a low level, I shouldn't say low level, a regular employee say it to a supervisor, and a supervisor say it to the employee.
Right.
It's got a different tone to it too.
That's
How
true.
many times?
Because again, the power dynamic.
The power dynamic, right. So that makes a difference too. If he's looking at it like, if he's going to bring you into his office, you're being inappropriate and leave it at that.
Right.
as opposed to a manager saying that you're going to HR and saying my manager made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was in his office. He told me I look good. Like, I'm scared because he's my manager. I can't say nothing back. I can't be, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, I'm sure I've sexually harassed people before. Pretty sure I sexually harassed our little Haitian muscle friend at work. I mean,
I thought one time, I actually thought me and our Haitian friend at work, one time we slapped each other on the butt and said supervisor, Baldy, saw us. And I was like, shit, we in trouble. Because I went pow, and I walked away. He went pow, and we laughed. And then I turned around and looked, and I saw him. I was like, oh, we're going to get in trouble. Because we had, but we hadn't signed that fraternization thing yet. But I just felt like he thinks that's wrong. Like, I just felt it, but he didn't say anything.
Right.
I think it probably made him uncomfortable to say something.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I kind of thought, I don't know if I said the words, but I kind of thought to myself, shit, we just sexually assaulted each other. Like, this is wrong in the workplace.
Yeah,
I thought, like, I got nervous. I'm like, dad, he going to call us in his office. We're going to have to, like, go to HR. Like, because I kind of felt like we weren't supposed to do that.
Right.
Take like a week seminar on
and I
whatever.
was like getting my answers ready. Like, we're friends.
Getting my answers.
Like, he and I are friends. It didn't make me uncomfortable. It didn't make him uncomfortable. This is our relationship that we have. I was getting ready for my defense, because I was pretty sure we was gonna get in trouble for that. Like, but he never said anything.
I was lucky. Yeah.
I do think it is sad, and I think April and I spoke about this before. I do think it is sad that there's like women who are trying to get ahead, especially in work, or whether it's like the entertainment industry, or if it's like
a career where your name being out there.
Right. Yeah. Like, and there are people in higher powers who are like, oh, come into my office, come sit on my lap, or whatever. I watch Lifetime. And I'm not saying it probably doesn't really happen. I've just been very lucky.
Right.
And I don't really get along with superiors, so I guess probably cursing them out before.
I've seen Jen and her issues with authority. It's really funny. 4'10" person, like,
Trust me, they never thought I was sexy. They're like, get this bitch out of here.
Oh, wow.
But like, I feel bad for those women, like, because you're in a really tough position. Like, do I give this guy a hand job, or do I like lose my career, or I don't get to make it to the firm, or whatever.
Or being blackballed before you even start, because that's what could happen too. Like, if you have somebody like Russell Simmons, and you tell Russell Simmons, like, I'm gonna tell the whole world about this, and Russell Simmons says, okay, I'll make sure you never get another job.
Right.
When you leave Def Jam, nobody will ever hire you when I'm finished. Yeah. It makes you kind of like,
damn.
Yeah, I could have just took the L on that one. He grabbed my boob. Let me just keep it moving.
Yeah, that's not cool at all.
But I can understand people being in that position. You got mouths to feed, mortgage and rent to pay.
Absolutely.
And it's like, he grabbed my ass. Should I just be quiet? Because I don't got time to get fired right now.
So do you want to tell everyone what the gist of your blog was?
I called it Making a Rapist, which basically I called it that because I feel like just the allegation alone, like, turns your name, your reputation. Is that the guy who raped the girl, or they accused him of rape? It's like you never get unconnected from it. So it's like, even if you're not a rapist, they're pretty much turned you into one, just name wise.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I wrote it kind of like from a woman's perspective, but from the mother of a son perspective. Because, like, I look at it as, like, as a woman, I'm like, or if I had a daughter, I would be like, don't let anybody do this to you. Don't go nowhere alone with a guy. Like, make sure, if you say no, it means no. Like, of course I would tell my daughter those things because, as a woman, I've been through some things.
Yeah.
But, it's like, when it's my son, like, having a son, I'm almost like, what if I get him through high school and I get him through wherever? Either he wants to be an entertainer or whatever the case is, and he works really hard, and then bam, she says he raped me, or it's like his whole life, it's not, his life is not over, but it's like he works so hard, and it's like, when that's your son, you know that's not who he is. You know you didn't teach him that. You know, I mean, some women know their son do these things. Like, you know your son is rapey. But, like, what if he's not? What if you know for a fact, I know my son didn't do that. I know he wouldn't mistreat a woman like that. I know this is, like, she just took it the wrong way. This is completely wrong. So I kind of wrote it from that perspective. Like, what if he's in high school and a girl like Brian Banks, which I put his name, he actually has a show on, what channel was that? He has a show where they go like try to help innocent people that's in jail. Oh, it's like Brian Banks. But it's like Brian Banks, this kid was like a star athlete. And I saw him on, maybe it was Steve Harvey's show? Somebody's show. But he ended up still playing in the NFL a little bit. Yeah. But that was his dream. And it's like he got out of jail 24. He went in when he was 16 or 17. He got out when he was 23, 24. But, like, when you're 24 or 25, you're almost ready to retire from football.
Right.
Like, your best years are, I guess, like 20, 21, 22, 23. Mm-hmm. Like, those are your best. You don't go into the NFL at 27.
Right.
Like, I mean, he did whatever they do and got on a team for a little while. Yeah. But it's like, it took his life away from him.
Absolutely.
And it's like she, and she lied and she admitted to. It's like you waited till he did all those years in jail to say.
Now, did she get in trouble for lying?
I'm not sure what happened to her. I feel like they might have had to give the money back, which is why she was hesitant about saying anything, because they sued the school and got $1 million. And it's like your mother sued the school knowing that you lied. Right. Well, I don't know if she told her mother she lied. I'm assuming her mother probably knew she was lying.
Right.
And she got the money anyway. Kids are lying or not. Yeah, she got the money anyway. So that was her little, which her mother probably already tell her. If you tell them he didn't do it, we have to give the money back. Because for that to be her first thought, she had already thought that through. Like,
right. Someone already told her
I feel bad he's sitting in jail, but I have to get this $1 million back. I don't, but she probably couldn't live with herself.
Yeah.
No.
For you to, like, as soon as you see him on Facebook, as soon as you get out of jail, you hit him up. She probably wasn't like sleeping at night, because but it's like when you think about too, somebody accused your son and he goes to jail. Like, look at Khalif Brower. Look at these people that you don't come out the same person.
Right.
Like, what if your son dies in jail and he's innocent in there? Like, So all those fears, all those things. So I wrote it kind of from that perspective. Like, what if you lie and put my kid in jail? And I think Brian Banks' mother, Morgan, she like sold her house. Like, she did everything to get him out of jail. Like, she devoted her whole life to getting her son out of jail.
Damn.
Because she was just like, I don't care what nobody say, my son didn't do this. So it's just, I just looked at it from that perspective. Like, what if, like, when people say, like, I'm getting a little tired of seeing comments, well, this is what the Me Too movement is about. Well, it's about a lot of stuff, more so than what you think.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just kept thinking about, like, what if that was my son? Like, like, we're looking at it as women. What if that was me? Or, like, my daughter? Or my friend? But then when you think about it, it's like when your mother, it's like, well, what if that was my kid? Like, what if that was my son? And I think sometimes we just say, we're all women. We should all stick together. Mm-hmm. You're going to stick together till that's your son, though.
Yeah, right.
Till that's your brother.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's, it might be your husband. What if a woman at work says, #me too, my supervisor, sexually assaulted me. So what if it's your husband? Mm-hmm. Are you still going to say, well, honey, that's what the Me Too movement is about. You should have been in the room alone with her.
Right.
Like, what are you going to, like, what if this is some man or boy wouldn't do this, and they getting accused? Yeah. So you have to, like, as a woman, you have to think about the fact, what if it's your, you have to keep your family together. What if this is your family? Other than, we just think that, like, women, we're all women. We're supposed to believe her. Nah. Women lie, men lie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Exactly, too, because I know that there's a whole thing where it's like what is it? Not believe the woman, believe the accused. I guess believe the accused or the accuser or something like that.
The accused, I guess.
Yeah,
The accused.
right. Believe the accused, but then at the other side, but then at the other tail end of it, the other spectrum is innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
So it's like which
one are we doing?
Yeah,
here?
what am I supposed to do? You know, and it's true though. A lot of people say, oh, that's why women don't come forward because you never believe. And just like you said, you know, like men lie and women lie. Like, yo, women lie. Women lie saying that that's your baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, or it's not. You know, it's like, when did women not become capable of lying? Now?
Right.
It's like, what's going on? I mean, that's why I don't straight off the bat believe the person. Not that I have an offense towards like women, but I would like to see what happened. You know, like, okay, what happened? You know, like, oh, blah, 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 got raped, blah, blah. All right, yo, let me see the story. What happened?
Because up until this point, the person has pretty much been a stand-up guy. No bruises to his reputation. Like, if somebody came to me and said Martinez sexually assaulted me, I'd be like, nah, you got something wrong. Martini wouldn't do that. That would be my first thought.
Yeah.
He's not rapey. He's not, like, that's what I'd be saying to myself. Like, I cannot imagine Martini pinning you down against your will. It just doesn't sound right.
Right.
Like, my first note was like, no, he didn't, girl. Call the police. That's not, just because you're a woman, I'm not gonna say that because you're a woman. I'm not. I'm gonna be like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like Martini. Are you sure? That's, you know.
Yeah.
I ain't saying you lying, but that don't sound like Martini.
Let's hear the story.
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened? Are you sure that's how it happened? You know, like,
yeah, but then you get all the comments like, I can't believe it. You don't believe it. And,
right.
you know, now you're
we should
on.
take her story. I got a comment back. We should take her story at face value. I ain't got to take her story at nothing. I don't know her. I don't know him either. This is under the Aziz Ansari article.
Oh, we'll get
that
there.
Somebody posted.
We'll get there.
They're like, we should take her story at face value. Why? I don't know her. I don't know him either. I don't think he did it, but I don't know him either. But
right.
I don't have to take neither one of their story at face value. You know these people.
Yeah.
We just going by, and everything we going by is what she's saying.
Right.
We were using her story. Your story don't add, not his story.
Yeah.
Your story's not adding up.
Yeah. And to go back to what you're saying, when people get accused, it stays with them pretty much forever. I remember a couple days ago, I was reading where they did the Oscar nominations, right? And I was like, okay, cool. Let me look at what's going on. Kobe Bryant got an Oscar nomination for his animated film, for his documentary. Somebody did an animated film of a poem that he did. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, wow, he got Oscar nominated. He came out with he wrote a little, not speech, but whatever, I guess speech. And he's like, wow, I didn't think that this would go anywhere. And now it's Oscar nominated. This is awesome. Boom. The next day, backlash. Oscar backlash because whatever. It's 2010. Remember, he was accused of rape and he got acquitted, whatever. Or he either got acquitted
and
or
she admitted to
money.
lying.
Oh, okay.
She admitted to,
but still,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
People are like, nah, he can't get that. He can't get that. Whatever. You can't get that award.
Yep. And she admitted to lying, and it doesn't even matter.
Nope.
He raped that girl in that hotel in 2010. Yep.
So
he paid her, he raped her, and he paid her. That's all people know.
That's it.
Yep.
And also too, now Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck's brother, he can't present an award in this Oscars because he has allegations too. Well, he been had allegations. So I don't know if it's true or not, but still.
And he skated past that.
He can't present now. So so I don't. Yeah, it's.
And it's also too. Like I asked myself, like if my son. Like I was talking to my son's dad too, and we were talking about like what do we tell him like when he's ready to like go to the mall and meet the group of girls. I don't know if that'll be a thing in 2019. Well, no, that's next year.
I was like, damn.
2028. I don't know. I'm bad at math. But whenever he's 15 or 6, like, and he's meeting girls at the mall, at the movie theater,
right?
Like, what do we tell him? Like, don't touch her. Like, I feel like I'm making something that's supposed to be a fun part of his life, and I think I mentioned this in the article. I feel like I'm making a beautiful thing ugly. Like, don't touch her.
Yeah.
Don't put your arm around her. Ask her first if you could put. Yeah. And I feel like I'm gonna have him like this awkward kid. Like,
and he's already going to be awkward because he's 15.
Right, and he's my kid,
stage.
so he's going to be awkward.
But it's going to be an awkward stage, so in his life. So it's like,
and it's like, I'm going to make it work. And it's like, I want, like, even though he's 16, like it's like, as a woman, a part of you wants him to be that kid you would have liked when you were a teenager.
Right.
So like, I kind of want to be smooth and have swag. And I'm like, oh, hold that swag up, to put your arm around her. Don't touch her unless she say so. Don't kiss her unless you ask her. Don't, like, that's gonna be, my nerves is gonna get this. And it's like, I want to tell him that, like, do not do anything to her.
Yeah.
Do not put your hands anywhere.
Yeah.
But just don't even ask her. Just don't put your hands. Keep your hands like
my
that.
other godson's gonna be 12, and he told me the other day, he's like, I hugged a girl, but it was only twice. And I was just like, I don't really know where to go with this conversation. Like, I'm gonna talk to your mom and dad about that when we get home.
Like, where did your hands land during the hug? On her back?
Show me how the hug was.
Yeah.
I was watching how Ellen hugs people, how Ellen hugs kids, and I was like, maybe that's the right way to hug.
Like a lesbian.
Around the
Do the lesbian hugs.
Oh my God. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Because I was like, that's the other thing too. Like, it's not actually, like, because I guess in the realms of sexual harassment, like, with the whole, I was watching the whole Tale of Two Corys and how Corey Feldman's kind of like tiff now because he feels like, I've been telling you people that people were raping people for a long time, and you guys thought it was fucking nuts. And yeah, we still do think he's fucking nuts, but I do think he had a valid point. Mm-hmm. But I was like thinking about that, like, how do you hug kids that you don't know? Like, because even as like a social worker, like, and I go into people's homes, like, their kids are like, oh, I want to give you a hug and a kiss, like, and I'm like, I don't even know if I could do that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to.
Right, the parent gonna take it the wrong way. Or,
Ellen hugs around the neck, and they hug around the waist. I think that's appropriate. I don't know. It works for Ellen.
We're gonna do the 60-year-old white lady hug. But I also think too, like, and it'll probably make my son feel super weird, but I felt like I told his dad, I almost want to model with him, like, practice, like, this is where your hand can go, can't go. This is how you hug. This is, if you kiss a goodbye on the cheek only. It's always like I want to model with him, like, this is innocent dating, not too touchy. Like, this is what you don't do. Don't sit here, or don't put your hand on her thigh, or don't do this. Like, don't do any of this.
Yeah.
And his dad's like, damn, he can't do nothing. And I'm like, no, he can't. Can't get the first base, second base, none of the bases.
Nubia's little one, like, accidentally came up and, like, hit my chest. And, like, she, like, beat the shit out of him. She was like, no, you don't touch any lady there. Not mommy, not anyone. And you only give hugs and besos to mommy. And he's like, and Jen, can I give hugs and besos to Jen? And she's like, yes, you can give, but you don't touch anyone else. I was like, damn. Like, and I guess you just have to.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, man. That's a lot to put on of somebody.
It's rough out there. I don't know.
Your son's going to be like, my mom said. I'll be like, just listen to your mom.
Like, my son was like a breastfed boy, so he still does this. So I'm like, is he going to be a boob man? Don't touch anybody's boobs. Don't touch anybody else's boobs. Right. But even when he, like, even when he lays on my grandma, he does that. I'm like, don't touch anybody else's boobs. And then we were like, like we were in Macy's, and he's standing at the bras like this. Like, come on, you little Weinstein. But he like touches the bra a little bit. I was like, oh my God, let's go. Out of the bra section. Out of the bra section. But it's like, it makes you crazy. And it's like,
Nubia's kid ran through the bra section going, boobies.
And I thought he was going to say something, but he didn't. But he was just kind of like staring at it like,
he's like,
are they in there?
Come out of
Should I touch it? And I'm like, oh, you gotta.
He's discovering, man. You can't do that. He's discovering.
Yeah.
So.
I'm like, no boobs. No more boobs.
Oh, man.
To nobody's boobs.
Yeah.
But it makes you really nervous as a parent. I mean, of course, with your daughter, you're automatically nervous. You feel like she's a girl.
Yeah.
Guys are going to want to take advantage of her.
Yeah.
Older men. Younger boys her age.
Yeah.
Boys almost her age, but a little older. She's 16, he 19, all of it.
Yeah.
It makes you nervous with your daughter.
Right.
But, and I think for a long time, it's been like with sons, like, he'll be all right.
Right.
Like, that a boy. Go on dates, go out,
Right.
get all the girls you can, enjoy life.
Right.
And it's always been focused on the daughter.
You're right.
But now it's got to be with your son. Like, oh, you can't date everybody's son. What kind of girl is this? Is she right in the head? Is she a little borderline? Like, I'm going to tell. And I think that's what makes me jaded.
April's going to give girls mental status exams.
Right. Like, I almost want to teach him, like, this is what this means and this is what it looks like. And I think I'm jaded too. I've seen so many borderline people, borderline people with borderline personality disorder lie at the drop of it. They will have you arrested, sitting in jail, fired from your job,
And
arrested
if you didn't know
in
any
public.
better, you wouldn't know they were lying.
Right. They're really good at it. And they button pushers and they lie and they don't care if it ruins your whole life. Like they're out for blood. And it's like when you meet people like that, you know people like that out in the world. Granted, they have issues. But it's like when I know that they are like, you know, and a lot of borderlines are a lot of times women, right?
Yeah, most of the time.
Like, it's like, you know, I hear these stories. I'm like, is this woman borderline? I mean, and if you don't have a, you know, social work, mental health background, that's not where your mind goes.
Right.
But when you've worked with them, the first thing I think, well, is she borderline? Because that's why she's trying to ruin his life. She don't care. Like, she don't care if you got a hit show and you didn't do anything.
They have no remorse for anything.
Right. It's
Damn.
like she doesn't like you. She don't like how things went down. She sees an opportunity. In her mind, she's getting back at you because you've done something to her. The date didn't go well. You've done something to her. You've gone on about your business.
Yeah.
She's not finished.
Which I think is the first time since all this Me Too stuff has been going on, was with the Aziz Ansari story. Women actually stood up and said,
yeah, so
I
sound
don't know
right.
about that.
Yeah.
And that was based on her story,
Right.
not his.
Exactly.
Because he barely said anything.
Right.
Yeah. He came out with a statement, but that was it.
Right, but
Yeah.
it's like she's the one he didn't go into detail about how she bent over and she did this and he didn't go into all those details.
Right.
Those were her details. And the reactions was based on her story.
Yes.
And we can maybe look into her story in the little when she used nonverbal cues. I was like, bitch, bye. Nonverbal cues. No, you need to be verbal. My thing was, which I tweeted it, I put it on Instagram, I put it everywhere.
Yeah.
I said, women have been voiceless, and you want to take us back 100 years and say nonverbal cues, and for so long we've been voiceless, voteless, all this stuff, and it's 2018, and you can't tell a man no? Like a man, not a man that's got his hand over your mouth.
Yeah.
But I mean, a guy that's sitting there like, I want to do this and that. No, I don't want to do that. I don't
Right.
take your hands out of my mouth. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like, we didn't got too far for you to sit there and say he didn't follow my nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even? Are you like? I say, are you a mime? Like you're miming now? Like you're doing sign language?
Yep. I remember that.
Like, come on, you can't be a grown woman in a sexual situation and say, I was afraid to say something. Well, don't be in sexual situations.
Right.
Like, sex is for adults.
Yeah.
And if you can't be adult enough to say, I don't want this, then be celibate until you feel comfortable voicing what you want.
And a lot of people were bringing up the fact that, again, maybe that it was like a power thing with the celebrity because well, at the time she was 22, she's 23 now. And of course, I think Aziz is 34. But he's obviously a celebrity, and she was enamored by him ever since they met at that
wherever they were.
that party, that whatever Golden Globes party.
see it.
What?
I mean, I think Aziz is funny, but I still want to go back to a hotel with him.
No,
No, but I mean they had a connection. I mean, if you read the thing, you know, they connected over the type of cameras that they use because they use the old fashioned Polaroids because he was taking Polaroid pictures, and she happened to have the same one, and you know, she was like, oh my god, and so she thought, I don't know, someone's gonna pop off because you can see throughout the story that she did like him because I believe after the time where she was like, I don't know if I want to do this, whatever, after she went to the bathroom, took a breather, and came out, and he was like, all right, you know, it's not fun if both of us aren't having fun, and he was like, all right, let's just sit down and watch Seinfeld. She sat down on the floor while she sat on the floor, he sat on the couch, and she said that she thought that he was going to like ease her by rubbing her hand on her back and playing with her hair to ease her. And he was like, nah. So like she turned around and looked at him, and he like pointed to his dick, and then she sucked his dick again. That was the second time that she sucked his dick. So
What
it
was
was
the
like
first time?
the first time is when they first came into the apartment.
Wow.
I've never walked in anybody's apartment and sucked their dick.
Well,
Ain't nobody walked into mine and got that either.
they both came in, they were kissing, whatever. She said something about oh, you have a nice like marble tabletop for like what in the kitchen, whatever. He was like, why don't you get on it? And then she did. They started kissing again. He was like, I'm gonna get a condom. He went to go get a condom.
Sorry, that was inappropriate, but that was so on
And I
point.
feel like he sounded like him. I feel like that's exactly how he said it.
So
Oh, good condom.
so he did, came back, and then
That was nice of him.
they started undressing, and then he ate her out. He ate her out, and then she sucked his dick. So that was the first time. So for me, those are nonverbal cues to be like, all right, she's down.
Let's
go.
Because you haven't at once said, no, I don't want any of this.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
And the power, if somebody is a celebrity that has no control over your job or your money, where's the power? You're giving him power. You're saying you're a celebrity, I can't say no to you. Says who? That's what you're saying.
Right.
Like, I don't care what show you on.
Yeah.
If I don't want it, I don't. So it's like you're giving him the power you say he has.
Correct.
He has no control over your paycheck, your money, where you go, where you work, if you leave here. I seriously doubt if Aziz Ansari would have blackballed her if she'd have walked out
Right.
and ruined her photography career. I don't you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Right.
think that would have been the case.
Yeah.
And frankly, Aziz Ansari is not even like a household name. He's no Bill Cosby.
No, he's not Bill Cosby.
He's not,
I mean,
you know what I
he
mean?
is popular, though, but he's not Bill Cosby.
Yeah, he's popular, but if you like say, like if you were to say to your parents, if your parents don't know who they are, they ain't that famous yet. You know that?
Yeah.
Like people like older people who don't watch follow pop culture.
Yeah,
if they know who you are, then you've made it.
Yeah.
Like if you were to say to your parents Aziz Ansari, your parents would be like, What? You know what I mean? Like, but if you
Right.
tell your mom Bill Cosby,
Oh, yeah, forget it.
she's not gonna remember every joke you ever said, but she'll know who you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or, like even like some older people, if you say 50 Cent, they'll know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My mom
But-
said Common can put his shoes under her bed any night. Quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
My grandma said when she was younger, she usually didn't date dark-skinned men, but something about Tyrese turns her on. I was like, oh my God, please don't ever say anything like that to me ever again.
Oh, man.
In life.
In life. Oh, man. That's crazy. But, yeah. Okay, so with that being said, with the Aziz Ansari thing and the gray area, that's pretty much what we want to. That's pretty much what we're going to focus on right now, because not to say that I didn't have any. Not that I didn't care about the other cases like Harvey Weinstein or Kevin Spacey. Those are pretty much.
Cut and dry.
Yeah, cut and
Right.
dry. Like, boom, they're bastards. Get them out of here. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But just for me, like, yeah, I want to talk about this and stuff, and because I believe it's very informational and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't want to accidentally rape anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious.
It was an accident.
So no,
Like,
for
why
real.
is Martini on Maury?
Like, for real, man. Like, I'm not trying to catch an L.
Martini, you ain't even swiping left. Like,
It's swipe right. But
Accidentally raped.
no, I'm serious, man, because you really can't do anything, and it's like, and I don't want to like offend a chick or whatever. I don't even know if I can do like a high five or like a one of those fist bumps. You know what I mean? Like, because it could be taken any way.
may I hug you? Like,
Yeah. So we're gonna I found many articles about what's called gray rape, but first, just so we're on the same page, the definition of consent is permission for something to happen or agreement to do something. All right, so there's that. And what gray rape is sex for which consent is unclear. And there is this article that I will read, and it is called
paraphrase it.
Really? Okay.
If you can, I mean.
All right, and then I'll try. When saying yes is easier than saying no. So for years, my female friends and I have spoken with knowing nods about a sexual interaction we call the place of no return. It is a kind of sexual nuance that most women instinctively understand. The situation you thought you wanted, or maybe you actually never wanted, but somehow here you are and it's happening and you desperately want out. But you know that at this point, exiting the situation would be more difficult than simply lying there and waiting for it to be over. In other words, saying yes when we really mean no.
Okay, I'm just going back into my repertoire and thinking I was ever in any of those situations.
Sometimes yes means no, simply because it is easier to go through with it than explaining our way out of the situation.
No, yes does never mean no.
Sometimes no means yes because you actually do want to do it, but you know you're not supposed to lest you be labeled a slut. And if you're a man, that no often means just try harder because, you know, persuasion is a part of the game. I mean, well, that's paraphrasing it right there. So
What? I feel like there was like some movie. Oh God, I don't know what it was. It was like some movie or some show, and they were like, "Oh, she said no, just keep trying. Eventually, she'll give in and say yes." I don't remember what it was. It was something. It was a comedy, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
God, let's hope. But I just thought of that when you said that. I mean, I don't get the whole yes means no and no means yes. I get like that you sit there and you like shuffle through the consequences and or your wants and needs in the moment. You're like, oh, I don't want to make them feel bad, or but like
that's on you.
That's on you, right?
Yeah, because you could not care if he feel bad.
Right.
Like I would tell my daughter, if you ever get in a situation where you were gonna do it and you saying to myself, "There's something I don't want to do it," I'll be like, "Get up and walk out."
Right.
Get up and put your clothes on. And if he doesn't talk to you after that, keep him.
You know what? In the day of Uber and Lyft, not to like plug them, but whatever, I would give my kid a phone with with a card
debit
attached
card
to it,
on it,
and just be like, "You need to get out of somewhere, come home, go somewhere else."
And if the guy doesn't want to talk to you after you tell him no, it's not going to happen, then it wasn't meant to be.
So I think I told, I don't know who told that story to, but when I was younger, I really liked this like Greek guy. And he went to like the Catholic boys' school, and I went to the Catholic co-ed school, and like he was so cute, and like he was like, come over to my house and we'll play like board games or something. And I was like, okay. So my mom dropped me off there, and we played like Monopoly for a little bit, and then he was like, you should suck my dick. And I'm like, no. Like, not a fan.
Totally inappropriate.
And I'm like, no. And I'm like, is that what you called me here for?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm playing. And I'm just like, no. And I was like, I'm going to go home. And I called my mom. My mom came pick me up. And then there was like weeks of apologizing. And I'm sorry, I was a dick. I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. And because I was stupid and I thought he was cute and he invited me back over, I went back over. And then we played like, I don't know, head of the class, Tiddlywink, Connect 4, some stupid shit. And then he was like, so do you want to suck my dick? I'm like, I never saw him again after that. Fool me once. I don't know the rest. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Something like that.
Yeah.
So I never saw him again after that. And he was cute. Oh, I did see him again once in the mall in college. And then I gave him my dorm phone number. And then this creepy incident happened on Montclair, like where I thought it was him. And he said, meet me by the library. And there was, like, nobody there but this, like, old creepy white guy in a trench coat. It's a really creepy, like, story. One of those, like, Tales from the Crypt type stories that you tell in college. But it really happened to me. I don't know whatever happened to him after that. He was rapey. I did see him on Facebook. And I remember he was, like, calling. And he said, we should go on a cruise together. Never saw him again after that. I wasn't going to, like, see him. But I wanted to be, like, apparently you're still an asshole. But I don't know. Point of the story is that I got my ass out of there and I went home. Yes, I went back because I'm naive a little bit. And I was like, people are good, and underneath it all, they're not. So I went back, but never again.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, I just don't understand why. I don't know, women. Like, it's different if you're like jumped in a park and like raped and held against your will.
Right.
That's okay. Obviously, you were raped, and I'm very sorry for you. But like, when you go on these dates and you're like, oh, I didn't want to say no. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I really do like him. Like the Aziz chick, she was like, oh, maybe we should just have sex the second date. You already had his dick in your mouth. What's the difference? Why are you now pruding out? No offense. She doesn't have the right to say no, but like...
Just don't accuse somebody of sexual assault later if you know you gave consent.
No,
basically.
because what that article said, because you don't want to be considered a slut if you give it out the first night.
She
first
had
time.
her mouth on his dick twice at this point.
Sex is different, I guess. In a girl's mind, sex is different than just sucking dick.
Not in my mind. I have to really like you for that.
So, I mean, that's what it is. But yeah, there was an article from metro.co.uk saying women are having sex out of politeness and it's got to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
being drunk is a gray area too, because I
Absolutely.
mean, it's not even gray area. It's you didn't get her consent.
no, yeah, right.
She's drunk.
She was
yeah,
blacked out.
Yeah, you
and
didn't,
also
there's no consent.
Also the guy too, yeah. The or yeah. Mm-hmm. Like that's, but that's the thing though. A lot of people do have sex that way, and then the next day they're like, oh man, that was so crazy, blah blah blah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, by law, yes, sexual assault happened. Like somebody was drunk. That one person could not consent. But
and even if the guy was drunk too, it's almost like, but you were with it enough to unbuckle your pants, pull your pants down.
Yeah.
Find,
What about if a
the
guy and a girl
anatomy.
are drunk and she jumps on him and rapes him?
It wouldn't
No
be
guy. I mean,
it wouldn't
some
be
guys.
it wouldn't be looked at that way.
What if the guy was like a virgin and he was like, I didn't really want my first time to be like that?
Sexual assault.
Yeah.
Then probably yes, but another way, to tell you the truth, I don't think it would ever be looked
It
that
definitely
way.
wouldn't be like taken to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't there
wouldn't
a bunch
be.
of bully bitches running around the West Nyack Mall at one point, raping guys? Remember that story? Am I the only one who read that?
Yeah, I ain't hear that one.
No, might have to look that one up.
I heard it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but to go on, I found this conservative political commentator named Ben Shapiro. I don't know if anybody heard, but I mean, some things I don't agree with, but other things I'm like, yeah, you got a point. But he says sometimes yes doesn't actually mean yes, and sometimes no means yes, meaning a woman doesn't have to have sex, or she does want to have sex, but she wants to be persuaded into it. She's playing hard to get. This has happened to plenty of people where a woman says no and the guy says please, and then the girl says okay, sounds great. The idea where no means no permanently is obviously not true, and the idea that no means no from minute to minute is always not true. So you have to take no as no, guys. This is one of the problems in the Me Too moment. We're trying to draw lines in an area where all lines have been obliterated. If it's true that a woman means yes and say no, are men supposed to read minds? And if a woman says no, but a man seduces her until she says yes, is the initial no more important than the final yes? So it's so.
I have a fucking amazing idea.
So it's freaking gray area, God.
Do we have any nerdy people who can develop apps? So you make an app, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the app is your own personal security, and you log into your own app.
Okay.
And you put in your name and a special PIN code to say that it's you.
Yeah.
And then if you're gonna have sex with someone, you touch the phones together, and put in the PIN to say that it's consensual.
There's an app called Legal Fling that does that, right?
No.
Yeah. There's.
I've clearly never used it.
Yeah, there's a consent app. Yep, it's on there. Yeah, you can download it right now if you want. It's out there. But the thing is that still doesn't mean anything.
Why?
Okay, so let's say
She apped me. She said it was all right.
Nah. Okay.
I have proof.
No. All right. So let's say it's you and me. Boom. We both sign, and then I'm like, all right, and then. We start doing stuff, and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, well, this says you do, and you don't,
He got you yoked up with that pin in.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
that's
I don't
not
know.
good,
Maybe it'd be like the ATM, you put the pin in backwards, the cops come.
Oh shit!
I don't know if that's real or not. Don't try it.
No, but
I don't know.
That's not that doesn't do anything.
I've also heard
either.
of stories where people start having sex and then the fucking Married at First Sight guy brings out the handcuffs and they're like, whoa, they this kind of party.
Right.
I don't want to do this no more.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't know.
But
I mean, I've been in situations where, sex was the way we were going, and I saw it, and I was like, nah, I'm good. and it's like, and I walked out, and I didn't care if you spoke to me no more, because look at it. Don't call me. I don't
Right.
care.
Just like those look at it.
But it's a situation where I was like, nope, never mind.
Right.
You know, like, and it's like I had every right, and the guy has every right to say, look at you like, nah, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Well, hey, but it shouldn't be like, I shouldn't have been like, oh, I don't like the way it looks, it's too small, but I'm already here. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Lay here.
Right.
It's like, nah, you don't. I mean, if you do that, that's on you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
But I've also heard through many articles that women are taught to be nice and not to rock the boat. Is that true?
Compliant. Yeah,
That's
so
true.
To be like,
You're talking to the wrong person.
but I think
No, but
I think you're kind of taught to. You have to go a little above and beyond to please men.
mm-hmm.
I think you're taught like
I think
if you don't do it, another woman would. Another woman
Right.
will. What you don't do, she will. Sort of stuff like that. I think that is kind of.
Do you think that's changing?
I mean, to an extent, a little. No. I mean, maybe with all this stuff going on, it might.
Right.
It might be, you know. Like, I wouldn't tell my daughter that. I would tell her, listen, if you value yourself and it's something you don't want to do, and he doesn't, he got a problem with it, he can walk, go find somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I always tell my daughter to never be so over the top connected to somebody where she's doing everything she can to please the person. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, me personally, that's what I would definitely teach my daughter. But but I do think there is kind of that old school mentality, especially sometimes, you know, depending on what your mother taught you, that you do have to, you know, or if people say that's just how men are.
Right.
Boys will
be boys,
Yeah.
or you know,
The new is boys will be held accountable, which it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never heard anything bad. I've never seen my brother act inappropriate with women, or, you know, or heard anything from anyone like, oh my God, your brother's such a pervert. So I have friends that are really inappropriate. Our mutual friend, our little friend, he's like super inappropriate with women. And I can think of many times that he was drunk at parties and did things that would be deemed inappropriate to people.
Who is this?
TP?
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, he kind of had like an alter ego. Like, it was our joke. But like, when he got drunk, like, he would just like grab people's asses and everything else, and you know, not that much shorter than him, but you know, we have to like wrangle him around. Like, one night he got drunk and I was trying to help him count his money, and he was like, "Bitch, get the fuck away from me!" And I was just like, "Who are you fucking talking to like that?" Like, so he'd be all kind of crazy, you know, like. And not that I excused it, but I was just like, that's just how he is. I guess I excuse it, whatever.
Right.
I was just kind of like, that's just how he is. Like, he's not like sexually inappropriate with me, so like whatever. But I'd see him do other people, like, oh, you need to chill the fuck out. Like, she's gonna get pissed and punch you. But and like, he wouldn't really remember the next day either. Like, he'd be like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm like, you pissed off a couple of people, but whatever.
I have a coworker who voted for Donald Trump. And she said,
why?
I don't even think she knows. But she made this statement one day. She said, when the whole thing came out about him saying,
I like how that she prefaces the story.
the thing when he says grab women, they had him recorded, and he said grab women by the vaginas or whatever. And she goes, that's just how men talk. And
locker room talk.
I turned to her and I said, does your son talk like that? Because her son's maybe 23, 24, something like that. Seems like a respectable kid in the Air Force. You know, it seemed like he was. Her and her ex-husband raised him well. Yeah. I said, do your son talk like that? No, of course not. I said, did your ex-husband talk like that? No, of course not. I wouldn't have married him if he talked like that. Okay, so is that so what men you heard? I said, her father's passed away. I mean, I didn't think it was disrespectful, but I said, you adored your father. She said herself, she was a daddy's girl. Did your father talk like that? No, of course not. So what men you talking about? Your father doesn't talk like that? Your ex-husband don't talk like that? Your son doesn't talk like that? No, it's almost like she got offended. No, I raised my son better than, no, I wouldn't marry a man. No, my father. So what men are you talking about? These are the men in your life.
Yeah.
Right.
These are the examples of men that you grew up with, that you married, that you raised.
Yeah.
So what men do you know talk like that?
Yeah.
Right.
And she was like, well, I guess you got a point. There's no guess. I do have a point.
Right.
I'm right. Like,
Right.
you know, like I wouldn't say, oh, that's just how men talk. Because if I say that, then that means if my son say it, then I'm not going to say nothing.
Right.
I'm going to say, I hear my son say, oh, that's how men talk. I'm not going to excuse that. No, it's not how men talk. Shame on you saying that. He's going to get, like, his ass handed to him talking like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, as I'm sure her son would and her ex-husband would, and you hear somebody talking like that, you're going to say something. So it's like, no, that's not how men talk. No, it's not okay.
And the thing is, like, even
like
my boyfriend says that, like, the guys at his job, like, kind of do talk like that sometimes. But he said, I stay as far away from it as you can because you're almost guilty by association. You know, and he's like, most of the women at his job are lesbians, he said. He's like, but he doesn't even try to, like, talk to them because, like, I guess even before all this started coming out, it really is, like, a fear for men. Like, because you can say one off-color comment, and then she's like, she'll be on her period that day, and then it's like, someone said this about me, like, you know, or she's in trouble for something, and it's like, oh yeah, well, this is what's been going on here, and then they have to investigate it.
Yeah.
Look at my fucking roommate, like, he says he doesn't sexually harass women, but I hear how he talks about women.
Yeah.
And like one, we don't want to be called bitches. We just don't. Would you call your mother that? Well, he has, so that's really not. And that's the problem, though.
Right.
But like, you know, and then he got in trouble for like, he's like, oh, this girl said that I sexually harassed her. What the fuck? And I'm like, I believe that you did. He's not one.
Look. Like you.
Yeah, he's not one. He's not one of those people who I'd be like, nah, he didn't do it.
Yeah. See,
I'm
there's
like,
certain people.
Yeah.
Right.
Martini is a short list, and you made it.
Yes.
He ain't defending everybody. Everybody don't get defended that fast.
Like, I was like, maybe he did. And they had to go through the whole sexual harassment thing at their job and watch something.
Video.
And, like,
Yeah.
and then, like, I was like, don't talk to her anymore. Don't talk to her. Don't look at her. Don't go in her direction. Don't, like, leave her. No, don't do any of that. Because now this bitch is out for you.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if it's just not clicking, but, you know, but that's it. You really do need to be careful as men and as women. And I think women should stand up now. And I guess that's the part of the Me Too movement that I like, is that it is giving a voice for those women who didn't necessarily have it before.
Absolutely.
Like, it's making them feel like it's okay. It's just the gray area that you're talking about is the part that's, like, getting, like, to be overkill.
Yeah.
It's like, did that really happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or do you deep down inside, do you really think you were sexually assaulted?
Right.
Or do you just think you guys had a bad night and you didn't say what you should have said? You didn't speak up for yourself.
Right.
And now you pissed.
Yeah.
And you blaming it on the other person. But really, it was your responsibility to speak up for yourself.
Right.
Yeah. And you kind of let it happen when you didn't have to. And it's like, too, as you know, as women, like, we have to be able to, like, you know, even as moms, you have to let your kid know, like, you can't. It's like, even with the whole guy, like, I can understand guys talking about women in the sense, like, oh, I saw her, she was really hot, you know, I wanted to have sex with her.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but guys actually saying, like, yo, I go up to women and I grab whatever, and I don't care what they say. I don't care if I got permission. Like, that's another level.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you being rapey now.
Yeah,
As
right.
opposed to she was hot.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd fuck the shit out of her.
Yeah,
right.
right.
As opposed to, like, I go up to women and touch them wherever I want to touch them. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like-
I think even other men will look at you like,
Yeah, why you gotta
we
take
don't-
it there?
We don't do all that. Like, what? And I
Yeah.
think it's up to the decent men, too, to kind of open their mouths. Because one day a guy going to be talking about your daughter like that.
True.
Right.
So it's up to, like, decent guys to say, nah, you don't need to be approaching women like that. That's women don't like that. It's not cool.
And I definitely think more men need to do that. I think that just
Do
as
what?
women are afraid to, like, say this happened to me, I don't think men should be so afraid to, like, lose their fucking balls card or whatever it is that you all have to say to another dude, like, yo, don't talk like that around me. Don't talk like that around females.
You're right.
Because it's not cool.
Or even if they don't want to be preachy or whatever, how about saying, like, why don't you approach her? Why don't you try this way? Why don't you just go up to her and say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like, damn, you got a fat ass is not how you want to. Because, like, you might be in a club talking to my sister like that.
Yeah.
So how about you just go up to her and say, like John was telling me in the barbershop the other day, a guy was saying no woman has any business in here. She need to find a man to bring her son for his haircut. And he was like, all the guys got in there, like, got on him.
Good.
And I was like, pow. because even I, like, going to the bar, like, I felt uncomfortable in there. I'm like, I feel like y'all all want to say something, and I'm keeping y'all from saying it. Like, but it's like, I don't, you know.
It kind of it is a clubhouse,
right?
For
and
dudes.
it's like
it really
I
is.
very rarely go.
Yeah.
But it's like the guys in there, like one guy was in there, was like, sometimes I can't come, and if my son needs a haircut right away for whatever reason, school, picture day, whatever, my wife have to bring him.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, and then somebody else was like, what if there is no man in her life to bring her kid? Or what if the man in her life can't?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what if her kids don't have a father and their uncle bring them sometimes, but the uncle's at work or work 2 jobs or got his own kids or got his own wife or whatever the case is, or moved away or whatever. Sometimes the mom just have to do it. And he's like, you know, like all the guys in there would just pretty much defended the idea that this woman may not be in here because she wants to be,
Right.
but she's doing what she got to do for her kid, her son.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
For
like
the 20 minutes that the haircut is supposed to take,
right.
you can just mind your manners for 20 minutes.
Right, that's what I said. I'm like, for the like 30 minutes that I was in there, you guys couldn't be gross. Like it's
Right.
it's okay. Like
Right.
you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And it's like I was like, I'm glad you guys brought that sexist down.
Yeah.
And I was like, and what did you say? Yeah, quiet. You know? But I'm like, that's what needs to go down. Sexists need to be brought down.
Right.
Like, stop this crazy talk. That's not how, you know. So I thought that was a nice story.
That is nice. That is
Yeah.
good. And I think barbershops are kind of like a rite of passage in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But in a certain way, I almost wish that, like, men would be more mindful when younger men come in there. Like, you know, when your kid's old enough to actually walk to a barbershop and go
And hear
the
that
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't want it to be for my son like an initiation thing. Like, and if we're being like mindful and respectful at home, like I don't want him to walk into a barbershop because he's able to walk there for the first time. You know, and I trust him to go for a walk and get a haircut. And they're over there talking about like pussy this and dick that, and I bent that bitch over. I'd be like, what?
I beat it up.
Like, you're gonna have to go to the white barbershop. I'm sorry. Like, there's just old men in there talking about the war. Old man Sam is gonna have to cut your hair. Whether that, or we're just gonna have to buy clippers and make it happen because I'm not ready for you to hear all that.
That's funny. But just a little bit before we like go into like what harassment is, there's like a little paragraph that was saying there is a sort of vagary in sexual relationships, and it's painful stuff for a lot of women, but it does raise a pretty serious question. What about the guys? What are men supposed to do? Because it's men who are on the line here. If these women have a bad sexual experience, that is quite terrible. But if you have a bad sexual experience over it and get to ruin a guy's career or ruin his life over it, that's something that I'm not so cool with. And so the reason why I put that in is because with all the harassment, like sexual assault and sexual misconduct, even though those things are very specific, even those terms are being widened. Because I saw this, I actually saw this on D.L. Hughley was talking about it, and it says that there's a study that's from millennials 18 to 30, male and female, that 44% of men and women in that age group think compliments and sending you a drink are forms of sexual harassment. So like now I can't even give you a drink now, or that's a form of sexual harassment. Or I can't say, oh, you look nice today, boom, sexual harassment. And that's not cool, man. Like, what are men supposed to, how am I supposed to holler
You're
at
supposed
you?
to go up to her and be like, excuse me, what age group are you? Because I thought you were like 18. She'd be like, no, I'm like 40, but thank you for the compliment. And he'd be like, yes, I can send drinks and give compliments. I don't really know. That's really sad. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't accept a drink from anyone. Well, I guess the bartender brings it. That's a whole different thing that we were privy to as clubber goers. Was I roofied?
yeah, but now they have the nail polish. You ever heard about that?
I bite my nails.
You can stick it in and
Yeah.
Stick it in
colors,
and change colors. Yeah.
But send you a drink is the bartender.
But the bartender
bring
said,
it.
"This is from this guy over here."
Right. Mm-hmm. But it's
Like, did you roofie it, Mr. Bartender?
Oh damn! Was it a tag team?
But something in connection with that also is the fact that it's like, some things it's like guys, some things guys think is normalized, like women added to it. Women had a lot to do with it. Like for example, things guys do that a lot of times women don't say anything. Well, if it's normalized because nobody's saying anything.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, if a guy kind of like leading you down that way towards this groin area, or, pushing, kind of easing your head down, not pushing it, but easing it, or, putting your hand on his penis or something like that.
Yeah.
If he put it there and you start jerking him off, well, I mean, that's what men think, or you start rubbing it or touching it.
Yeah.
That man's gonna move on to the next chick, and he's gonna put her hand
Do the
there,
same thing.
and if she starts, I mean, if it's something you don't want to do,
Yeah.
then don't do it. But sometimes it has happened in movie theaters, and you just like,
Oh, that did happen to me once.
go on and keep going.
When I started dodgeball, I invited this guy back to my house. I was like, oh, he's kind of cute, whatever. And I was like, oh, I bet you're Haitian. And he's like, I am. No offense, you guys. And he was like, oh. And I was like, oh, well. I was like, people were supposed to come back to my house. He was the only one who ended up there. And then I was like, oh, well, whatever. And I put on some comedy thing. And I didn't, sit close to him or anything. I just sat with him on the couch and I started talking to him. And he just immediately grabbed my crotch. And I was like, I took his hand. I was like, this isn't that kind of party.
Yeah.
I was like, is that what you think I invited you here for? He's like, I didn't know. I was like, because all the other silly white girls were like, oh my God, you're so cute. I'm going to let you do whatever you want. I and her.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and he got really uncomfortable, which I didn't give a fuck about.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched the end of the comedy show and he's like, oh, it's getting late. I should go. And I never saw him again.
Right.
And I ended up dating his best friend.
Right.
I didn't know they were best friends at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I met this guy on POF later.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, he talked shit about you. He hates you. And I was like, do you want to know why he hates me? And I told him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is why he hates me. So fuck him. He can say whatever he wants about me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, I didn't know. He shut up after that because he kept saying oh, he thinks you're. Because then the guy started trying to kick it to my other friend. And he's like, oh, he thinks you're a troublemaker. You starting to try to stumble. I was like, no. I was like, this is why he hates me. And I don't care.
What was his reaction when you told him what the friend did? Did he seem shocked?
Yeah. I don't know if he seemed shocked because I think he knows it's his MO. He just didn't know that it happened between him and I, and that I was going to shout him out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He was just like, oh, shit. He kind of just stopped because at first he was like, nah, I forget where it was, and he was just kind of he told me you can't come or something. And I was like, why can't I come? I'm your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he was just like, nah, I don't know. He don't fucking like you. He said you're a troublemaker because you're trying to, cock block what's going on between him and my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend knew what he did, and she still hooked up with him anyway, but that's her business. You want to be an asshole by all means,
Right.
do it on your time.
Mm-hmm.
But, he was trying to, say, oh, I don't like her, I don't like her, whatever. And my boyfriend didn't know any difference because I just met him on POF. I didn't meet him from, the same circle. We just found out we were in the same circle.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him why. And I was just like, no, that's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
And me and that dude we've been in the same circle together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say hi to him, bye to him, whatever. But I don't think anyone's ever told him no before.
Right.
I think he thought I was just going to go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah, I really just like having parties and having people over. I wasn't really here to invite you over to
right.
My other friends got too drunk and I don't know where the fuck they ended up.
All right. So let me ask a question. I've seen this before too, and I want to hear both of you impression on it. That women have said that being invited over to a guy's house is not an invitation for sex. How do you feel about that?
It's not.
No, absolutely not. I believe in that. I believe in going chilling at your house just to watch movies or.
You know how expensive the movies are?
Mm.
Or just to watch movies and chill in your living room or whatever, and chill and go home or not go home.
Right.
Go to sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't.
Okay. Now, does that depend on what time it is as well? Let's say if a dude hits you up at 2 a.m. and he's like, "Come over."
That's
what do
a
you
booty
think?
call.
All right, but okay.
And
But what do you
I
think?
think you should go over there expecting that he wants sex.
Yeah.
But
You
I
don't
think
have to
do it.
No.
If
Yeah,
you
you don't
change
have
your
to do it.
mind.
Oh yeah. If you change your mind, that's
but
fine.
I think that
But
you
I'm
should
like,
expect that's what he's calling you for at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
That's
Right.
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
Now,
bro,
if you get there and change your
we
mind,
ain't
then
trying
fine.
to
But
freaking. I'm not calling you here at 2 a.m. for
You
like
might be lonely. You might
a
want
library
cuddle.
thing. Not at 2 a.m.
I don't know.
I'm ready to give you that dick.
Damn.
Yo,
You're like, I'll come over, but I'm on my period. You'd be like, oh,
never mind. I would just say that. Like, if that was the case,
Nah, I'd be
like
like,
if he
you can
called
still
me
come
at
over.
2 o'clock a.m.,
Oh my God, you know how many
Like-
times I've had my period when I haven't had my period?
I wouldn't even like say nothing else. You're like, 2 a.m., you want to come over? I have my period.
And honestly,
I'm like, it ain't gonna work on me. You can
and
still
if
come
you're
over.
worried about hurting someone's feelings as a woman, you could just say that. 9 out of 10 guys won't care. That 10th guy though, he's like, I had to earn my Red Wings. I'm like, oh, I don't do that. Sorry.
Period sex helps shorten the length
Yeah.
of the
Okay.
thing.
And also,
No, it does.
Well, help more of it come out.
it shortens it and it helps you along with it.
it helps stock and Clorox.
So so yeah. So all right, I just want to hear that. I've seen other quotes that say like a woman can say anything and that a man's career is over, which April was talking about. And novelist Daphne Merkin wrote in a New York Times op-ed that in our current climate, to be accused is to be convicted. Due process is nowhere to be found. And this is from April's blog right here. I quoted her. She says, although these are examples of blatant lies and not gray area, sexual misconduct, assault, etc., I use these examples because they show the impact of a woman's words. And I highly agree with that.
Those were
They're
the
impactful.
examples were Emmett Till,
Yes. And
Brian Banks, and the Rosewood Massacre.
Yes.
Those were the examples.
Yes. Yep.
Google all that stuff. You'll see.
Says, and she also says, if you are unable to voice to a man what you will and will not allow to be done to your body, you should not be in any consensual sexual situations until you are comfortable with communicating your wants. That's why sex is for grown folks. So yeah.
You should teach a class, April, at the high school. They should let you.
Oh, Lord, I have high blood pressure messing with them kids. But it's true, like I did have moments at 19 and 20. I always say those were my naive years when I first started having sex. I had moments where I wasn't sure, and I thought about it, and like maybe 18 and 19. And
I'm serious. You should really go to colleges and give speeches. 1, you'll get paid, and 2, I think you'd be
Oh,
really
well,
good at it.
speeches. You said teach a class.
No, well, yeah, like speeches at
I'll give a speech so I can get in and get out.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a question? No. Action teacher. But it wasn't moments where I was in situations where I kind of was uncomfortable and I didn't say anything. And I thought about that and I said I shouldn't have been in them. I wasn't ready.
Right.
Even though I was 18, I thought I was ready, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because if I was ready when I was being talked into it and I went on and did it, I would have known like better than to say, like I didn't have that voice to say, nah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Like 18 or 19 was the years. I was like you say, I really don't want to do it, but like he's not gonna like me if I don't.
Right.
You know, and those were those I always call them naive years. Because later on, I'm like, fuck you. I don't have to. But those were those years where it was a little questionable. Like,
Right.
Right.
I don't know if I should be here, but I don't. And I had a moment, I think I was 19, where the guy said, if you're uncomfortable, we don't have to do this. And I remember I said, yeah, I kind of am. And we stopped. And I ruined things with him. And,
Right.
he's a very nice Dominican guy. And I was mean to him, but he was the first guy that said, "If you don't want to do this, we don't have to." And I guess I looked uncomfortable. I was like,
Yeah.
And we stopped, and that's the way it should have been.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way it should have been.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of a moment I said, well, I mean, he's right. Like, don't have to. And I started to, think twice about being in situations like that and not saying anything.
Yeah. The next thing is accountability, because I saw that a lot of people were giving, every time somebody wanted to speak about something, there was backlash about it. So I don't know, maybe I mentioned this before, but Mayim Blaylock, Blossom, yeah, she pretty much gave a New York Times article, and she was saying that you need to take countermeasures so things won't happen to you. I mean, she obviously said that they're obviously not 100% proof, but you can do things to better protect yourself. And people are like, oh my goodness, that's victim blaming. How can you do something like that? And she was like, I don't understand. I mean, she was pressed to give an apology, and she did. But other people was like, nah, she's
tired of people having to apologize.
She was like, yo, she's right. I don't, like, there was many articles that says, no, Mayim Blaylock is right. It's like, there's nothing wrong with preparing yourself for the reality of the world.
Right.
And that's her opinion. You don't agree with
her? How can you be wrong about your opinion?
Right. And why should you apologize? That's the way she sees the world. Yeah. If you don't agree with her, don't read it.
Fucking Blossom.
And also Pamela Anderson came out too, and she was like, she's been abused like back in the day and stuff, and she said that for the people who went to the hotel room, she was like, yo, you know what's going down if a producer asks you like to come up to my bedroom. So I'm not to say that she doesn't feel any remorse, but it's not like, why? Don't be so naive.
I think that it's important now in the entertainment industry that everyone's on their like Time's Up movements and stuff. I mean, although Time's Up means 101 different things more than Me Too does. It's like race equality, pay equality, like a bunch of different things. Yeah. But I do like that, I guess, the conversation is out there now, because maybe there are people who are, like, up and coming. Maybe those little Stranger Things kids. Right. You know what I mean? Like, now they're up and coming, and, like, who knows what's going on, you know? And, like, now they know. Back then, I think in the Corey Haim, Corey Feldman 1990s, 80s days, where, Drew Barrymore and them were all coming up, like, I don't think anyone knew.
Oh, and even, good point that you said that, because I think one of the Stranger kids, I don't know which one, not Millie Bobby Brown or the other freaking one with the
weird teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from Jersey.
There was one of them that his agent, I think, was in sexual misconduct or allegations or whatever, and he fired him.
Good.
And I was like, yo, you're like 11, and you're like, yo, out of here, like that's
But that's
crazy.
good. At least they know. But I mean, that's why I do think this is important, because now all these kids who are like in the business, well, no, I think they asked Corey Feldman, they're like, what would you say to a parent who had their kid in the business? And he said, be very careful. Watch everything they do. Watch everything that happens.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the 80s, too. It's almost like, I'll drop you off at the studio and come back for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm right there. That's how your kid end up in a Monkey in the Jungle hoodie.
Right.
Nowadays. Like, nah, I'm right on that set. Like, what that say? Nah, I gotta take that off now.
Even that mom said, though, she wasn't offended.
She
came out and said, you guys need to stop. Like,
you took it too far.
Took it way too far. It wasn't about, I didn't take it personal. Like, I guess they're from Africa.
They live in Sweden, but I think they Nigerian.
Oh, okay.
But she was like, I've experienced racism. I was called a monkey on a cruise. But so what don't you understand then? But my thing is, she knew it was racist. She said, I experienced racism when they called me a monkey on the cruise.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, but she was like, but so I'm missing how she doesn't make the connection there. Right. But she just feels like it's just a kid's shirt that just say he's. That's fine.
They could have put it on the white kid, though.
I mean, I saw.
They could have put it on. That's the point. They could have put it on the white kid, and they didn't. They put it on your kid. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the problem. But it's like,
even if she wasn't
that's
offended,
a problem
she should
for
have been like,
us. Do you understand that?
Yeah, but
she
could have even been like, that might cause issues. Can he switch hoodies?
Right. Like, y'all may not admit nothing, but I'd be more comfortable if my kid wore the shirt and that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, too, it's like she doesn't have to agree.
Right.
It's still wrong.
Right.
I don't care if the mother doesn't agree. It's still wrong.
Yeah.
Because if it was my kid, I would agree. So then what? You know what I mean? That doesn't give it more validation. It's still wrong. I don't care what she say.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I was her friend, I'd be like, Topanga. I forgot what her name is. I don't care what you say. And they shouldn't have had that damn hoodie on that boy. I wouldn't get, like, if she my family, I don't care what you say. They shouldn't put that hoodie on the boy. I'm sorry.
Right.
But I think women got to be more accountable, too, about, like, gender roles and what we expect from men. Because sometimes when a man is too careful and he's too Like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Is he gay?
Is it okay when I do this? It's like, guy, come on, man up, or
Right. I need him to be more alpha.
or be quiet.
Yeah.
You're talking too much. You asking me, am I okay? Like, I dated a guy once. Are you okay? Are you sure? Are you okay if I do that? Are you okay? I was like, what the fuck?
Somebody probably
Yes,
called him
I'm
on his shit
If
flow
I
before.
wasn't okay, I would say it.
Yeah.
But, now thinking back to that, it was like, maybe he's like, I don't want her to feel uncomfortable. I don't want to, touch her the wrong way or make her. Maybe that's what was in his head. But to me, I'm like, dude, shut up and fuck me.
In California campuses, that's a rule. You have to check in like every 2 to 4 minutes on the chick. Like, is this all right? All right. Can we do this? Can we do that? Can I touch you here? Can I touch you there?
Right. Which is what I'm going to tell my son. Every time you switch it up, you need to ask her, is this okay? When you feel it going to third base, you need to make sure she's going with you.
That's the thing. What if he goes to third base one day and then the next day the girl's like, I'm not okay with that. He's like, but you were okay with it yesterday. Like,
right.
Well,
and then she's
not okay with it today. I'm out.
And I might want to tell him, if you meet somebody that's a little wishy-washy like that, you may want to find another chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's time to let that. Like, sometimes people need to be okay with letting somebody go. Like, you're not for me.
Yeah.
You do too much back. Like, I can see if you're just not in the mood today.
Right.
I don't want no sex today. I don't feel well or something. But, like, if you're like, if you touched her boobs 30 times and one day she's like, I don't like it when you touch my boobs, it's like, okay, might be a little bipolar. If just all of a sudden one day she flips out on you because you've done something for the 28th time, like, you might want to rethink this chick. Like, some people are crazy. Yeah. So it's like, I almost want to say to him, like, if that's the case, where you meet a girl that's a little wishy-washy and 1 minute she wants something, she's comfortable, next minute she not, find another girl. You need to be careful letting go, because you need to be okay with and women need to be okay with, if you say something and the man doesn't want you anymore, he's not for you. You gotta be like, being afraid somebody's gonna leave you. That's issues you have.
I feel like I might have been in a situation like that where the guy came on too strong and I was like, nah, I'm not about this, and then we just never spoke again. And I was just like, all right, fuck it.
Right.
Like, he was a dog. Like, yeah, he was hot as hell, but no. Like, all right, well, I wasn't going to give him what he wanted, and I didn't have to.
Right.
And, like, damn, he was fine, and it might have been fun, but I don't like the way he came at me.
Yeah.
Right. And if you feel like your discomfort or you expressing your discomfort is going to make somebody leave,
you shouldn't be with them.
Shouldn't be with them.
Right.
Like, somebody makes you, it might be your own issues. Be by yourself till you figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you just need to be by yourself when you too confused about what's what. Just be alone till you figure these things out. Because now you're going to get somebody in a situation that they, you kind of put them in. But it's like, if you're confused about what's love, what's sex, what does this mean? I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like this. Maybe you should just, like, watch Pornhub and
make it happen.
Consent to yourself.
Consent
and your
to
vibrator.
Oh, man.
Consent to your sex toy and leave other people out of your issues.
Yeah. And just the last thing, it kind of goes with what Jennifer was talking about with the Brian Banks. Is that a story? Sorry, is that his name?
Yes, the high school.
Yeah, and because Jennifer asked, like, did anything happen to the girl? And you said you didn't know.
Right.
And that's the thing, because the last category right here is just false shit, because I was reading this story, like the Hofstra University rape case in 2009, where there was 5 dudes, right, being accused of rape from this girl, and it happened where, like, I believe they're at a party. I saw this on Wikipedia. I like really skimmed through. Like, she was at this party or whatever, and like she was hooking up with this guy. And then he was like, "Yo, I got some friends or whatever. Like, what's good?" And she was like, "Hell yeah, it'll be fun." So they went to this room. It was five other dudes. They smashed. You know what I'm saying? And then she came out saying, "Oh my God, like they raped me, blah blah blah," and all this stuff. And they were kicked out. They were kicked out of school, and then they were being faced up to 25 years.
Damn.
Yeah, and then the only thing that saved them was that one of the guys recorded it, so they had it in court.
This was an SVU episode.
so they recorded it, and obviously they saw that she was having fun. So it's like, all right, so the fuck, like, nah, and then obviously she had to admit that No, they didn't rape me. And the reason why she lied was because she didn't want her boyfriend to think that she was a slut. And I'm like, yo, you would have sent 5 dudes to jail for 25 years just because you were insecure about your sexuality. So, and I saw that little piece in your piece talking about, I said, many women leave their daughters sexually repressed by not helping them explore their sexuality and not knowing their body. Women are uncomfortable talking to their daughters about orgasms, masturbation, oral sex, etc., to the point where young women go by what they see on TV, which is fake, and have no idea what to demand, or if they should demand from a man what they want. So I was thinking about that. It's like, I don't want to say a problem, but is it an issue that because even with the Aziz Ansari thing, with the girl didn't want to have sex that day, but she was gonna do it the second date. Is it an issue that is it society's issue that like they should just be free to just if you want to have sex with the dude that day, go ahead.
Right.
Like,
what difference is it gonna make?
Right.
Stop listening to Steve Harvey talking about
6
90
days
days and 3 months and all of this nonsense.
But
if you want to have sex with somebody the first time you meet them, that's your business.
Is that an underlying issue? Like, do women
him head.
No, but
don't see what the difference.
But I mean, do women need to be more sexually liberated so like stuff like this has happened? Because like, she said that she was gonna.
So she probably was saying to herself, the second date, it'll look better if I wait I won't look like such a slut if I wait to the second date.
Right.
That's what she thinking, which she's falling victim to society's judgment.
And that's another thing too.
That's what she'll look like.
I don't like how, because so the dudes were going to get 25 years, but she got convicted, but no, the charges were dropped. I don't know why. That's retarded. I would have freaking gave her the book. But they gave her 250 hours of community service and she went to like a mental like institution because they said like she's off or whatever. I was like, nah, I would have gave her jail time.
So she off.
I mean, not 25 years, but something, 5, 10, something. Because I would have set her as an example to not do false rape accusations. Yes, I know it's only 2%, but it should be no percent because that is a serious
you should
claim.
Think twice before you try to ruin somebody's life with a lie.
But rape is a serious thing. You don't need to lie about it. Like
right.
We want to be to a point where a woman says, "I was raped," and we're like, "What? Nah, we need to get this dude due process, whatever." But since chicks are lying, it's like I don't know.
And sometimes I feel like the percentage, I don't know what they counted in that percentage. Are they counting actual like convictions that were overturned, or because there's some people that recant their story before it gets to the criminal process.
Right.
So are those people being counted? Because there's some women that's like
2%
Monday he raped her. And
they always say 2% because they're like you can't use that because it's so minimal.
False, yeah.
It's so like that the false rape thing is so minimal. And
I saw that in a comment section today.
Yeah, there's a lot more people who do get raped. There's a bigger percentage of people do get raped. So pay attention to that. Stop using the false thing as an excuse to not believe a woman. That's what they use. That's what they say.
But there's some of them that they take that story back before it even get to the news or to the. But meanwhile, you've been arrested, probably fired from your job.
Right.
They might have came to your job and arrested you, so you humiliated.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things. The Brian Banks chick, I looked it up. She had to pay the school district back $1.5 million and an additional $1.1 million in fees, including for making a false claim and court-related costs.
That's it.
Did she go to jail? Nothing? No jail time? No nothing?
Doesn't say anything about jail time.
We need to send these chicks to jail. I'm sorry. Like you're trying to ruin lives. You know what I mean? Like that's 25 years all because you didn't want your boyfriend to be a slut. Like, if you want to have a gangbang, go right ahead, man. Like, that has nothing to do with ending people's lives, their careers. Like that's not cool. And another big thing was I think the Duke lacrosse team. It was like the same thing. Like they a chick falsified a rape too, and they ruined those lives because I think they were on their way to become big stars and not anymore. And like we've said before, that charge carries with you. You know, it carries it breaks your psyche.
Every time
it demolishes you.
every time an employer Googles your name, even when you found innocent, that story.
Yeah.
That like, so it's like, even like if you're in one of those job fields where you're like in corporate America or like Wall Street,
Yeah.
and like clients want to work, or companies want to work for somebody with a stellar reputation.
Yeah.
And they Google you, they can say, I don't want Martini on my account.
Yeah.
Because when I Googled him, that article is attached. I don't want, like Target. Like if you work for Target, if you're Target CEO or something, like, or you going for that job. Nah, we can't have you as CEO. You got to just stay low key VP, because people Google you, they see that. We can't have that connected with us.
Yeah.
It's like it followed, even when you innocent, it's still following you, because we're in the age of the internet, and every time somebody Google you, that story is gonna pop up with your name.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's never gonna go away.
Yeah. And of course, you're in the court of, what is it? The court of public opinion. Like, we've already tagged you as whatever we're gonna tag you as. So
the little part where the person says, "No, I lied," goes into a little, story in the back somewhere.
Yep.
And nobody reports on that. Nobody says anything. It's always, he raped that girl.
Yeah.
Or didn't they say he raped her? Did he get found innocent? What happened?
Yeah.
And then it move on.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's bad. No, but for real, like, I'm scared. Like, I talk to a friend of mine like every other day about this stuff, because every time there's a new allegation, we talk about it and all that stuff. And and he's married, and I'm like, yo, you good though, man? He's like, yo, I'm not good, man, because I still work. There's still like women around.
Could accuse him of something.
He's like, yo, like, I am not safe. And I was like, damn, man, I am not safe either.
Neither one of us.
Yeah, we're like, yo, it's rough out there. It really is. Like, now I can't compliment you. I can't give you a drink. Like, I don't know.
I guess a guy have to say, "Can I buy you a drink?"
I guess.
Yeah. May I ask you for your number?
Right? Yeah. May I? Right?
May I?
But here's the thing.
Like, I don't know. Can you?
But here's the thing, though. I feel that you're taking, like, I don't know, like the naturalness of it, because there's gonna be no swag to it. It's very cold. It's very factual.
Right.
Can I touch you here? Can I give you a drink? Would you like to have intercourse? You know what I mean?
Walk in a tailored suit and ask that might keep the swag factor open. Got on this tailored, like my suit. Can I buy you a drink?
So I feel it's very sterile. There you go. That's the word I'm trying to. It's gonna be very sterile. Can I kiss you now? Like, nah. Women want you to freaking take them and fucking kiss them, just like in the movies. So like, are they gonna change the movies now? Like. Well, I mean, 50 Shades is the last one, but like, imagine 50 Shades was mad sterile, now. Like,
but even in 50 Shades, homeboy had that contract laid out.
Yes, he did.
Sure did. And I think that was more so she wouldn't get too attached and want a relationship and all that. I think that was a big part of the contract.
Protect his ass, though,
but
too.
part of it was to make sure she didn't say he raped her.
But still, I mean,
whooped her tail, and she didn't want that.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think if he like legitimately did rape her, that contract would not help.
Well, no, but it would help with the gray area.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey. Gray consent.
I would just say that if you're looking for like a hashtag to join on the movement, you could join the Time's Up movement. I think pay equality and all that stuff is very important. Find a different movement. Bring back our girls. Black Lives Matter. Whatever the case may be. I just don't think jumping on the Me Too movement because you had this experience that you may or may not have thought was rape 4 or 5 years ago is going to...
Or 30.
Is going to, like, help anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you feel like that way, just be like, this happened to me and I was confused about it then too. I don't know if it was rape or not. Mm-hmm. Especially when it's just like things like, well, he put his hand on my leg and, it's inappropriate. But it was accepted at some point in time and you didn't tell him to move.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of people are calling the Aziz Ansari story revenge porn because all you wanted to do was just humiliate him as opposed to saying, "Oh, something happened to me."
Right.
You know,
and you haven't went to the police because you know damn well.
Right.
Yeah. Did you see the text? Like
Yes.
the exchange between them. You know, he's like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you.
Had fun last night."
Yeah, had fun. She's like, "Yeah, I had fun." No, she didn't say I had fun.
Like,
she was like, "Oh, yeah, I hope your pictures come out well. But hey, I didn't have fun, even though you thought you had fun." What? Yo, if something happened to you, you'd be like, "Yo, you listen, you motherfucker." You know, you go
why
in.
do you still have the text?
And he was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Why did you keep that?
April?
Why did you keep that text? It just sounds very shady.
He was texting with Aziz Ansari.
But it's like
he's in Masters of None. I was texting with Aziz.
But if I had if I met a celebrity and we had an encounter and he was a jerk, I'd be like, delete. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never date him again.
Right.
I think I told this to you or April, one of you, and I was just like, I don't even know if I met Idris Elba in a bar, if I'd like hook up with him, because like I wouldn't want him to be afraid that if I had a bad night or if he decided he was gonna go date some Brazilian model, that I would be turn around and be like, oh, that Idris, he inappropriately touched me. Like, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, like, you know, I don't know that I'd go after celebrities because of their status and like knowing that there's not going to be a concrete relationship there. And I would never turn around and say, "Oh my God, like Idris did something terrible to me," because I was mad at him. Yeah. But like, just as like they say, oh, people like he had power over her or something. Yeah. I mean, he's a broke ass comedian. I don't think he's doing that well just yet. But like, why did you think something magical was gonna happen with this comedian at the same time?
Well, I mean, you saw. Well, I don't know if you read it. Well, I guess maybe you did. But she was super gassed because she was like talking to her friends. Oh, what should I wear and all this stuff, because I think she really wanted it to go somewhere. And then when I was speaking with April, she said.
And then when you found that he was a dog like all the other men,
she was like, "Oh, you're just like all the other men." Right. Yeah.
Do you think he was gonna like give you like champagne and strawberries and like rub your feet? He just met you.
No, but I had the question: Is he? Do you feel like did he not call you back because of all of your back and forth? Right. Like maybe he started off liking you, but you were so bipolar when you was at his house. Maybe he thought about him like, nah, this chick, you know, she was a little weird when she was here. Maybe I should leave that alone.
He texted her first.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
People who rape people, I don't know if they're gonna like run up and be like, "Hey, had fun last night."
No, but people who rape, well, no, I shouldn't say people who rape don't know that they raped. But he didn't think anything was wrong because you saw he was like, "Oh, I guess I completely misread what was going on. You know, misread the signals and blah blah blah."
And my thing, if he texted her, maybe he was into her. Maybe he wasn't trying to dog her. Maybe he liked her. And then he's like, and
maybe
she's
he was waiting for that second date.
Right, and maybe she's like, "Oh no, you did all that to me. I was uncomfortable. It sucked. You're horrible." And he's like, "Oh, okay." She didn't like me.
Like I was saying to April, I the most that I would give her is that I think she was violated, but not like sexual assault or whatever. Because like he was thirsty. He was horny. You know, I understand, but at the same time, there was absolutely mixed signals, you know, like you don't let him eat you out and then you suck his dick and then you're like, I don't know what's going on. And then you go into the bathroom for 5 minutes and then you come back out and then you suck his dick again. Like you could have left right after going out of the bathroom. Just like, you know what? This isn't for me. I made a mistake. I'm out. Right. You know what I mean?
And I have a feeling if he wasn't a celebrity, she wouldn't have said anything. No. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think she would have like outed like a regular dude, like outed him on Facebook or been a Facebook post like, watch so and so, he's, you know, such a horrible guy. This is what happened on our date. Yeah. Like, I think she would have just went on with life if he wasn't a celebrity.
Yeah. But I think, but a lot of people said, even though people believe, well, that people don't believe her, this is a good conversation to have because a lot of women have said that I've been in that situation. This has happened to me. And like you said before, this behavior has been normalized. Mm-hmm. Like guys are very handsy, grabby, touchy, you know, when sex is imminent. So I think people want to have that conversation and be like, hey, you know, let's slow down a bit or whatever. I don't know. That point is debatable because, I mean, if you guys are feeling it, Why not?
Like, if you bend over and he grabs your butt, like, I mean, it's like, if you bend over, you want him to ask you, should he touch your ass? Like, that's ridiculous. At some point, it gets ridiculous.
What were you saying, Jen?
I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
I was just making light of her situation. I'm sorry if anyone did take offense to that. But, I mean, I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, as a woman, I would say be mindful of what your comfortability levels are. Mm-hmm. And exactly what April says, if you don't think you're able to say no in a situation like that, you probably shouldn't put yourself in the situation.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, I even though this rarely happens because people just want to go with the flow and see what it is, if a guy says, hey, you want to, like, come over, you could be like, yeah, but we're not having sex.
Right.
Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever the answer is, that's what the answer is. Like, if he says, oh, well, I kind of want to have sex. Like, well, I don't, so I guess I'm going home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you're obviously going
what
home.
What did I call that guy? The English guy?
Johnny English. Jennifer,
what?
You need to tell people about Johnny English.
So he was African American, but he hailed from London. So already I was in like Flynn.
Had the accent.
Yeah. One night I was home and he called again and he was like, I'm in your area. Can I stop by? And I'm like, why are you always in my area? And he's like, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I was like, well, I'm in my pajamas. I'm not going anywhere. And I was just like chilling. And then like, so he came in. So then like I had to let my dog out. So I brought him like to the basement downstairs, like where it's my little chill area where we do our podcast. And he like sat down here on the futon and he was like, come sit with me. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then like he tried like, he's like, come closer. I'm not going to bite you. I'm like, oh, this is weird. And he like put his hand on my ass. And I was like, eh. And he was just corny about it. Like he wasn't even like slick. Mm-hmm. He was just like very like mechanical about it. And I was like, what do you want? And I was like, well, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm not going to hook up with you. Like sex is awesome, but I don't have sex with people I don't know, and I don't know you. And he's like, oh, see, you make me feel a certain way. Like, I came here for that. I'm like, what the fuck did you come here for? And I was just like, oh, whatever, man. So then, like, he was like, nah, you're making me feel funny, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, I think you should go. So I let him out the garage. I was like, bye. I remember, the first time I went past the Dunkin' Donuts, I was like, oh, I remember Johnny English. I remember sitting there and thinking, oh, I love his accent. He's really cute. So then the next time he, like, came over. And then he was, like, sitting with me on the futon. And he was just like, come sit on my lap. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm fine. We're on a futon. Like, it's not necessary. And then, like, I didn't know what he wanted. Like, and I went to, like, try to kiss him.
Everybody knows what he wanted, Jennifer.
I, like, tried to kiss him, and he didn't want to kiss me. And I was just like, okay, I don't know what you want, but none of this is happening. Like, you should go if this is what you came for. Like, yeah, I was fine for, like, maybe a little making out or something. He was British. Goddamn. But then, like, once I realized that, like, he didn't want any kind of, like, intimacy, I think he just wanted to have sex, I think. I don't really know. It was very awkward. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right.
No, I mean, but
there's the door.
You've told the story before, and you shouted him out. You're like, "Yo, is that all you came here for?" And he's like, "Well, no," whatever. And then you're like, "Yo, get out of here," Mm-hmm. It's like, and because you were mad that he would only
come over like late at night.
Well, like he would call you. Yeah, he would call you late at night.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm in your neighborhood. And you're like, the fuck?
Can I come over to your flat?
Yeah.
No.
First of all, it's a house. So.
Oh my God, you on freaking Britain time because
Britain time.
It's bedtime up in this bitch. I think as men, though, I think from a woman's perspective, I would just say that all of the things that you see on TV, being groupie and grabby, are not okay, and you should just be mindful of who you're with and what you're doing. And no one's saying to be a fucking church mouse, but at the same time, don't be a pervert.
And women, please, if you don't like what's going on, please say something. Because men are not mind readers. We're really not. So we're really not.
They don't know what we want to eat. So.
Y'all don't know what you want to eat. What are you talking about?
I don't know. We just want you to make those decisions for us.
And be comfortable with your decision.
Yes.
Right.
Whatever it is. If
Whatever
it's to
it
stay
is.
or if it's to go, be firm in it and be comfortable with it. And
then again, we want to make clear too. You can change your mind. You know,
Right.
like
Right.
if things are going on, you know, I will be honest. Men will be pissed, but you can change your mind and be like, you know what, I don't want to do this, and then whatever.
And then you're just sexually frustrated, pissed.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's not real.
Exactly.
It's
And
not
if
a
the guys-
dislike of the person necessarily.
And if the guy is pissed to the point where you don't hear from him, it wasn't meant to be.
You weren't meant
Right,
to hear from
yeah.
It
him.
wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't respect your decision to leave because you weren't comfortable or you changed your mind, he's not the one for you.
Yeah.
He's not going to respect your decision with anything else in life then either.
Right.
And also, and I know, and I guess I'll take the bullet for this one. Like, ladies, regret is not rape. I'm sorry. It's
I agree.
It
I agree.
You had bad ass or whatever. Like, oh damn, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have done that move, or I shouldn't have done that position that he didn't.
But you didn't see that I didn't want it. You didn't see that I didn't want that. That was sexual assault.
My body was stiff.
You didn't read my nonverbal cues that I didn't want that.
You got to be like, no, I don't want that there, or let's not do that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're not doing that ever
I always
again.
say no butt stuff. Like I feel like disclaimer in the beginning. Like just don't go near my
You've
ass.
said that since episode 1.
I used to have a friend that said he don't enter through the exit.
You know, so yeah, regret is not rape.
Absolutely.
It's like it was just a bad ass time, and you don't even need to see that person again. But don't be like, wait a minute, I think he did. You know, I'm gonna call the police
I
or
didn't
whatever.
want it, and he did it anyway.
I
It's
don't
like-
care if you cheated on your boyfriend. You're trying to find a way to get out of it, or cause a lot of maybe it was an SVU episode, but like I feel like a lot of times women will like do something they weren't supposed to do and be like, oh well, I was hanging out with this guy and then he just got rapey with me. Like
To be a victim.
Well,
is that really what happened?
Well, with that story that I said, you know, with the 5 people, you know,
Right.
like all she wanted was a gangbang. All right, fine, you want a gangbang? Good on you. You know what I'm
didn't
saying?
have to tell anybody
You
about
like dick. You know what I'm saying? But like,
right?
you know, I didn't want my boyfriend to think that I was a slut. It's like, yo, but look at the ramifications you would have had, yo, and you would have been good with that. Like,
Right.
if you weren't gonna say nothing if that videotape didn't exist.
And it doesn't matter because those
You would've-
kids are always going to be known as the kids who got accused of rape.
You would
Yep.
have been fine sending 5 men to 25 years in jail.
And even if someone's honest with you, imagine you met a guy and he was like, when I was in college, I was accused of rape, but I didn't do it. You'd be like, I don't know who to believe.
Look
now.
at Nate Parker. When
Oh, yeah.
since
Birth of a Nation.
when have you seen
Uh-huh.
when have you seen him?
Yeah.
What is he doing? Where is he?
That was a
It's
big
like-
backlash too.
And he got found not guilty. Doesn't matter.
Damn.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That movie was supposed to have Oscar nominations and
Yep.
it was supposed to catapult his career to another level.
Nah.
Ain't seen Nate Parker since.
Damn.
And what was that thing? What was it was immaterial, right? With the woman on the deathbed. She finally said that it was all a lie. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
So I'm saying, so stuff like that, man. Like Emmett Till got hemmed up. Okay, all on a lie. All on a lie.
Damn.
It's like, yo, we're not playing games, man. Like,
Right.
stop it. You're not, yo.
And if you think about the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s, it's like nobody could Google you and say,
Right.
oh, let me see. But nowadays, jobs Google you. Like if you go get your MBA and you got former rape allegation. Nate Parker was a star. I mean, he was becoming a star. I knew who he was.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you got raped from when you was in college? She was drunk. You like even Gabrielle Union said, I read the 700-page court transcripts, and I'm not sure if that was rape or not. I think they were both drunk, and the girl said she didn't consent, and but the jury decided. And even though his friend got convicted, the friend's conviction got overturned. But a lot of times when you read about the friend, they don't add that little part. Or they put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
By the way, the friend's conviction was over. Why was it overturned?
Yeah.
Is it because these two are not guilty?
Yeah.
Like by the state law of what? Because I was on a sexual assault case and I got picked my first time with jury duty. And I got picked. And you have to go by the law of the state. Not what you think, not what your opinion is.
Yeah.
Did this person sexually assault this person by what New Jersey state law say sexual assault is?
Yeah.
That's what first time we got in the jury room, first lady says, I just think it was husband, because they were estranged husband and wife.
Yeah.
Woman says, I just think it was husband and wife having rough sex. And everybody looked at, even the men was like, nah. The men in the room was like, nah, he raped her. And I'm looking at the two ladies, and the lady was like, I'm not buying her story. I don't think that was sexual assault. And it's like, and I turned to her and I said, because I said, I'm just going to get in here and vote. I ain't going to say nothing. That ain't happened. I turned to her. I said, it's not about what you think.
Yeah.
It's about what New Jersey law say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what you go. Nate Parker took it to a trial, a jury, because obviously he could have plea bargained.
Yeah.
But in his mind, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, right.
He got found not guilty. 20 years later,
it came up right when he was about to blow up.
Is his career over? Because I ain't seen Nate Parker.
I don't know if it's over, but it almost seems that as if he needs to start over again. You know what I mean? So it'll probably take him 5-6 years again.
It's like, are people gonna forget it? Is he just gonna be in a movie? And
that's terrible to have something tarnished and to tarnish your name. Like it's hard to overcome. Like
absolutely,
even though he was found now guilty, like you guys have been saying, like it's always gonna be Nate Parker, birth of the nation / rapist.
Yeah.
And it came up before, and he said, yes, I had these allegations in college. I had a trial.
And you're going to have to dig to find that he was not guilty. It's never going to say, it will be like convicted
was
of
found
rape.
not guilty.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
exactly.
And then they waited till he was at the top. He was getting to the top just like Aziz. Season 1 of Masters of None, you ain't hear from her.
Right.
When he was like the little Indian boy on TV doing whatever, you ain't hear from her.
Yeah.
But now you winning Emmys, all of a sudden, this date comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Same thing with him. He started talking about Birth of the Nation, started talking about Nat Turner, started talking about influencing kids, and history, and kids being taught Nat Turner. All of a sudden, whoa, y'all see these rape allegations?
Yeah.
Like, that was 15 years ago. Where was this when he was in The Great Debaters?
Right. No, and like I was saying before with Kobe, like that thing is always going to stay with him, and I think that even tarnished his legacy in the NBA because people were pretty much saying that he was, I guess, the successor to Michael Jordan. Like he was best, but now people are like, nah, LeBron. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is squeaky clean, allegedly. Like LeBron.
Give it a couple weeks.
No, but like LeBron, everybody loves LeBron. He, so he's the best now. When Kobe had an amazing career as an NBA legend, but people are like, but that allegation. So I don't know, man. It's yo. I don't know.
If I was somebody like LeBron, I would totally have chicks sign non-disclosure agreements.
He's married.
Oh, well. I don't mean shit.
I guess.
I'm just saying, either way, like, I would happy if I was famous like that. I feel like I'd have to have people sign shit at this point.
I think it's Justin Bieber or Chris Brown. Somebody, you gotta leave your cell phone locked up. Like, remember we went to the Tracy Morgan Netflix thing?
Yeah.
Like, I think you gotta put your cell phone in something like that when you go to his house. I think it's Justin Bieber.
Damn.
And you gotta sign stuff. When he have a
friend,
party,
friend or no friend.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, I don't know about his closest friends, but people that come to his house for a party, I think some celebrities have you sign a non-disclosure and leave your cell phone locked up. You gotta lock up your cell phone and you gotta sign something. Yep, and it's like I wouldn't even have no party.
No,
I wouldn't even have no party.
I would have 5 close friends and my family, and that's the only people come to my house.
It's crazy.
Big
man.
wild parties, jacuzzi, hot tubs. I wouldn't even have it in my house if I was a celebrity. I wouldn't even bother.
I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily a witch hunt, which people have been saying, like, oh, it's just a witch hunt, because the allegations would be like every day. You're like, who got caught today?
Because I was watching the Grammys, like, which one of them with this white rose gonna get called out on some shit?
Like, people were just.
I don't know if my dad was joking or not, or if it really happened.
Yeah.
But my dad said that, the picture that he might have been joking. He's a comedian. not like by trade. You know the picture that's like in New York of the nurse kissing the soldier that just came back from war?
Yeah.
Someone said, "Oh, the nurse didn't give consent for the soldier to kiss him."
Yeah, they didn't know each other. It's not like they were dating.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I don't know if the nurse is even still alive, but like
Right.
the nurse would be crying rape. Like I didn't ask to be kissed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think somebody was saying like, oh, like that guy probably didn't give a fuck. He just came back from like the biggest war of his life.
Yeah,
he was
like,
grabbing the first female he saw and kissing her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't be surprised. You know,
some 100-year-old lady.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone was like, you know what, you should bring that up. You know.
Well, I feel like not that we've beaten this to death, but
No, I mean, yeah.
I know there's probably
pretty much
another
done.
round out of you somewhere.
Oh yeah, another round. Not today though. But like, we good. You know, we good. I just wanted to get this out, and I wanted to also, you know, shout out April's blog, because like a lot of the stuff I quoted, it was just great. How she was how she really honed in on what I really wanted to talk about. It again, we're not talking about like the Harvey Weinsteins and the Kevin Spacey's, even though those are extremely bad and horrific, or even any other like rape case. Like if you're raped, like that's absolutely horrible, and that person needs to live freaking like just go under the jail. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but it's just that gray area because essentially any non-virgin can be called out.
Right.
That's the threat that I have. You know what I'm saying? That's the craziness about it. Like any chick can just one day be like, you know what? I don't, you know, she can just change her mind. And that's the craziness. Like any guy who has had sex with anybody, they can just change your mind and boom, you're on the chopping block. That's dangerous.
No, if
That's dangerous.
about it, right?
Yeah.
That's dangerous. But yeah, so
I know my son gonna know. I'm gonna be graphic. I'm like,
He's gonna be like, Mom.
any girl he bring home, he gonna be embarrassed. I'll be like, sweetie, I will come for you. I just want to let you know I'll come for you. You welcome today. Don't bring no shit up with my son now.
Oh, can I be there?
I would pull that dinner thief thing, 50 Cent, like have a whole bunch of chicks in the garage, like we will come for you.
oh man, Jen, you want to close this out or should I?
Oh, you can.
Okay, because you're chilling.
I'm in my laid back mode.
Nah, you good. You
But,
good.
Where can they find you now, April? I know you're
Yes,
on
please.
Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram,
Twitter too, fine.
Facebook, Miss April Speaks.
Awesome.
MISS.
Yeah, MISS.
MISS, April like the month, speaks.
Yep. And thank you for listening to us on Podbean, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, and
Google Play Music.
please rate, review, like, and subscribe to us on any of the devices that you listen to. What should we ask the people to write us? This is kind of...
I mean, if you want to share a story and you want to talk about it on air, you can feel free to. Or if you've ever been in that gray area where you weren't sure whether or not, you know, what was going on was inappropriate or why you felt the way you felt, you could talk about that too. I mean, don't let
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, don't let our opinions sway you of how you think or feel. That's just kind of how we think or feel. So
Yeah, because the gray area is what it is. It's gray. You
Well,
know?
let it sway you if you was unsure.
right.
Or you feel like you was about to accuse somebody. You're like, hold up. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, you can email us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com, or you can go to our website. It will see a multitude of articles that I found for this subject. Go to www.bedlovebeyond.com. You can give us a call or text us at 201-862-8BED. That is 201-862-8233. You can hit us up on Facebook, www.facebook.com/bedlovebeyond. And you can follow us at BedLoveBeyond on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. I am Martini.
I am still Jen.
And thank you, April, for being on this show.
thank you for inviting me.
And